Well, it's been almost exactly 2 years, and finally, the pandemic is dissipating. We made our choices, we learned our lessons, and it's a new dawn. The spring equinox is coming, and it's a new season for the year 2022, and a new time for all of us to embrace new life, new opportunities, new abundance. And while we balance our care and genuine prayer for peace and the awareness of a world that still includes unthinkable tragedy and sorrow and even war, we also are grateful for how blessed we are. And so let us use this spring of 2022 to take everything that we've learned, clear the past, and move forward in gratitude for the freedom that we have, for the blessings of our lives, for the opportunity to come together again in community, online, and yes, in person. We are all part of the awakening world, and we all have the roles that we're playing as individuals and collectively. We are the imaginal cells finding each other to create a beautiful, incredible butterfly out of the old paradigm. So welcome to spring of 2022. Welcome to the awakening world.
We come from the same source, a powerful love force. We're coming together, stronger than ever, not divided. We come from the same source, a powerful love force. We're coming together, hear the call, you are invited. We come from the same source, a powerful love force.
Welcome everybody. It is Saturday night, March 19th, and we are moving into a new season and a whole new chapter of our lives. Welcome to the Awakening World. I'm Love Coach Scott Catamas, and I want to welcome everybody that's in our Zoom room, all of our fans and our friends and our members of the Global Peace Tribe. And I want to welcome all of you watching on Facebook. A big thank you to John and Summer Raymer, who put us out of the Sign Network that gets us out to over 100 Facebook groups and pages. And of course, all of you watching on Unify. And we thank all of our friends at Unify as well. And want to invite you to come on into our Zoom room. It's a wonderful way to interact. We have a very dynamic group of people with us tonight, so there'll be some fun interaction in the Zoom room. And it's a special show. It's truly the start of a new season. For those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, spring is finally here, and it's been a tough winter in many ways. And we are embracing the new life of spring. And for those that are in the Southern Hemisphere, and we have a lot of people that watch us from Australia and New Zealand, so welcome to our friends down under. It's harvest time, and so we acknowledge the harvest. What I've done tonight is put together a show that has, who I think has the most powerful message, and that's the Twin Ray. The Twin Ray are going to be our keynotes. They weren't able to be with us live because they're getting ready for a big event that they're doing. But I spent a couple of hours with them earlier this week, and we pre-recorded some really important information. It's very inspiring, very, very dynamic. Most of you probably know the Twin Ray. If you don't, it's Shekinah Ma and Sananda G. And I was telling everybody in the early Zoom room show about the Twin Ray. To be really honest, I've been around the block. I'm 66. I was producing television at age 22. I've met most of the progressive New Thought authors, lecturers, teachers. I've gotten to know many of them personally, and many of them are amazing, wonderful people. But I want to say that the Twin Ray, who I've spent a week living with them, I've gotten to know them very well. they are amazing. They're very balanced. They're extraordinarily wise. They've had unbelievable lives so far. And they lead very balanced lives that are pure, clean, generous. And what they have to say for us tonight, I really want us to take it in. It's important wisdom for how to really integrate this next season for all of us. And to take that wisdom and help it go down, I've invited some of our favorite musical artists. We have 5 different musical artists playing tonight. 3 artists during the main show and 2 artists in our after show. And one of those artists are Honey of the Heart. And they've been on Saturday Night Live. They're back now with The Awakening World, coming to us from their home in Nevada City. We love Honey of the Heart. They're fantastic. And we also are bringing back Saritah, one of your favorites. I think this is her 3rd or 4th time with us, and we're really happy to have Saritah back with us. And there's a wonderful new artist. I am so excited about them. You guys all get to hear for the first time on my show, Jamishka. This is James and Ishka, and together they make music. They made a baby, and they're going to make us all very happy tonight. They are James and Ishka, known as Jamishka. I also wanted to invite Sean Ray Nato, and I'm glad she was able to join us. Some of you might have seen Sean Ray. She was on my Sacred Sunday show, and she wrote a brand new book on sensual intelligence. Isn't that cool? Like, I teach emotional intelligence, and we all know about, mental intelligence. She's teaching sensual intelligence, and we all want to increase that as we go into this new season. So thank you, Sean Ree, for being with us. Really excited about that. We are going to have a powerful after show, and Omashar is back from his travels in Peru, and he will be part of the after show.
Aloha.
And Donna Leah is going to be doing our prayer for peace. And then the other person I want to introduce is going to be part of the main show. You may look and see Guinevere Bridge, but she is also coming to us as the goddess Freya. And so we get to have goddess Freya getting things started tonight. So it's going to be a really, really special show. So welcome everybody. Again, a reminder to those of you watching on Facebook, come on into our Zoom room. It's easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and register, and you'll get the links to all of our shows, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday morning. All right, let's get this show started with some music, and I'm delighted to turn it over to our friends, Honey of the Heart.
So nice to be here with you tonight. Thanks for having us. You guys hearing us okay?
Yeah, you sound good.
Great. We just got back from 5 weeks in Mexico. And while we were there, we wrote this song that feels quite fitting to opening the heart to receive spring. So here it is, brand new. We're actually just refining the recording and about to release it. So send us some extra good juju.
Corazón, corazón, puedo quedarme en mi corazón. Corazón, corazón, puedo quedarme en mi corazón. Heart of the people, heart of the land. Oh, when it's so where I stand. Corazón, corazón, puedo quedarme en mi corazón. How does it matter how we live? What is the best way to take and give? Corazón, corazón, puedo quedarme en mi corazón. Heart of pleasure, heart of strife, how to learn from this death and life. Heartfelt love, heartfelt pain. I know how not to blame. corazón, corazón, puedo quedarme en mi corazón. Corazón, corazón, puedo quedarme en mi corazón. ¿Qué pasará con el mar? ¿Qué va a pasar con los niños? ¿Qué pasará con el cielo si perdemos la conexión con la tierra?
Feel free to sing along if you like.
Heart of the people, heart of the land, awareness of where we stand. Corazón, corazón, puedo quedarme en mi corazón. Heart of the matter, how we live, what is the best way to take and give. Corazón, corazón, puedo quedarme en mi corazón. Heart of the sky, when the rain comes down, washes through patience when we're breaking down. Heart of the mystery, where you come from, return when the day is done. Corazón, corazón, puedo quedarme en mi corazón. Corazón, corazón, puedo quedarme en mi corazón. ¿Qué pasará con el mar? ¿Qué va a pasar con los niños? ¿Qué pasará con el cielo si perdemos la conexión con la tierra? Corazón, corazón, puedo quedarme en mi corazón. Corazón, corazón, puedo quedarme en mi corazón. Corazón, corazón, puedo quedarme en mi corazón. Por favor, por favor, hiel en mi
Ah, you guys are so beautiful. You really are just so beautiful. What a lovely, lovely way to get started. Thank you.
Thanks for having us again, Scott.
Yeah, honor to be here with you.
Hey, I'm so enraptured. I almost forgot to do what I'm supposed to do here. I got lost. So of course they are Honey of the Heart, and their website you can find it at honeyoftheheart.bandzoogle.
It's actually honeyoftheheart.com.
Yeah, I don't
Straight-
know why it's
yeah.
showing
You know,
up.
for some reason it wasn't working.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. We couldn't get honeyoftheheart.com to work, so we got this to work.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, so you'll see a message from Debbie about that. But so usually try honeyoftheheart.com, but if that doesn't work, everybody, just for now, honeyoftheheart.bandzoogle.com. Is there anything you want to point out for us?
Yeah, we'd love to share from our screen. If you,
Yeah, go ahead. You got share screen.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, as things are opening up, as COVID is adjusting and the world is adjusting, we're getting all the calls of all the canceled festivals and gigs of the last 2 years, which is a little overwhelming, but it's a beautiful
This is the show coming up
challenge.
at the Crazy Horse on April 8th. And we also have a Honey the Heart nesting house concert, which is pretty much our backyard. And we're bringing some really beautiful folks from the Bay Area up to Grass Valley where we live. So if you guys are around the area, the 2nd or the 8th, please contact us.
Yeah, and then we've got some fun announcements. We just got confirmed we're going to be playing the World Fest. And also we'll be at Real Expansion Festival, if anybody knows about that one. So there's a lot coming up, and we'll be releasing some kind of upcoming show pieces on our website and Facebook and Instagram and all the things.
So I want to say I drove up last summer to their house and went to their house concert. It was beautiful. It was an exquisite evening. And of course, we know Relax Expansion because we love Lloyd. Lloyd has provided some wonderful artists to us. So I might see if I can stay at my buddy Jonathan's, do my April 8th show, and then zip on over to your show on the 8th. I'm going to try and make
Beautiful. We'd love to have you, Scott.
and they'll be back for one more song a little bit later on in the show. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Well, we have something very, very special. We have Goddess Freya with a very special message for the Global Peace Tribe. Let's hear what she has to say.
Hello, lovelies. It's Goddess Freya here, and we are about to start a ceremony. I personally will be conducting and have pre-recorded what's happening. What I would like from all of you is for you to internalize the ceremony inside of your heart. You want to see all of the events taking place in front of you, inside of you, and therefore the spring blessing will land so beautifully. Mwah. So here we go. I am Freya, the sun-bright maiden. I cry tears of red gold for my love that I hold eternal in my heart. I carry a golden key tucked in my crown to unlock the human heart and power of the earth, thereby waking the slumbering elements of spring. Cowslips are my sacred flower. They celebrate the dawn of the day. They are the sun's cycle regaining strength. Primrose, my other flower, represents my sensuality. My stones, amber shining like the sun, and flint, my connection to the Valkyrie. I am Freya, the goddess of Vanir. Vanir are gods of agriculture, the experts at food cultivation. I am daughter goddess of these gods, and Frey is my brother, god of the grain. This loaf is round as the sun. Blessed by my heart, may those that cultivate the land with love be blessed with plenty. As I walk on the new spring earth, I give these seeds that I awaken with my golden key. These sleeping seeds awake to the song in my heart. New seeds awaken blessing for you, for us, and for our families. I'm the spring maiden, queen of flowers, and I invoke spring into your lives and hearts with this golden key. Dancing awake the dream in your bodies, minds, and souls. Take these spirit seeds with you. Plant your dreams now in the fertile ground. As they arise, praise the blossoming and the gifts given by the grace of the gods. I am God's love, and I present to you these strawberries and amber honey. I increase the true beauty that naturally draws and magnetizes your sacred partnerships. I bless you with sudden and unexpected love everywhere it is needed. I will use love to blow you off your feet. Like the powerful spring wind, you will be swept away. Taste the sweetness of the strawberries and honey. Lick it off your lips. Savor the feeling of healthy sexuality. Luxuriate in the sense treats I invoke into your lives. May we open our hearts to others, and more importantly, may we know our worth when we do it. I am equal warrior goddess and love goddess that knows my strength and wields a sword with skill. Love, nature, and spring are not passive or helpless. Love fights to protect dear ones. Love protects its garden from being overwhelmed by threats, pests, and poisons. May I bless you with courage to love yourselves and others. Be a warrior with boundaries that protect what is tender. Welcome abundance upon those that honor your heart. I am mistress of the magical arts. I can seduce the fish into a bay, or invoke the arrow to the deer in the field. I can sing my song over the crops and they yield. I can tell you your future by reading fire and smoke. I am the music of incantation. I am the true love spell, and I bring the blossom back to your cheeks and the smile to your faces. Let the golden light in and hail the vanities. It was sexual and sensual energy that I bring to you as part of your springtime blossoming. And I end with this, a poem invoked from the olden times. In olden times all knew my name, and adoration followed fame. A million lips of many lands once sang and worshipped me and danced in secret grove and temple white as noon and even by starlight. On frozen tor and bitter plain and streaming island in the rain, on sea ship proud and sloping farm, my children all are kept from harm. In gentle town on mountain steep, what I planted, so they reaped. Your witches knew no evil spell, and none yet feared the name of hell. I, as goddess mother Freya true, 1,000 years my lips were few. But now, my children, you recall the joys of earth in the holy hall. We dance again by midnight sea, when seasons turn and hearts are free. Abandon fear, abandon doom, for mirth and pleasure now make room. We laugh and cry, both women and men. We eat the grain and praise with pen. We try to heal the hurts of earth, which as my body gave us birth. O goddess and goddesses, women, Freya free, you've given back my soul to me. Be free within each and every one of you. Be blessed in everything that you do.
Thank you. That's the reason why I pre-recorded, is because it's intense and I couldn't focus on fire.
First of all, I want us all just to take a moment to give two gratitudes. A gratitude to Goddess Freya, who you have brought to us, and our desire for those honey-dipped strawberries. And gratitude to Guinevere Bridge for the incredible work that you put into to create this ritual and to create such a lovely ritual for all of us. Lots of comments are flying in from people saying, thank you, yummy, appreciating you. Thank you so very much, Guinevere, for this beautiful ritual. Really just beautiful. Thank you.
On the bowl, it says, live well, laugh often, love much. Because we can't lose sight of the fact that Freya is a sex goddess.
Yeah, well, how perfect. She's going to come to us through Sean Rhee a little bit later on today.
So I wanted to really quickly, sorry, please forgive the goddess for cutting you off, but I wanted to quickly say that honey of the heart opening was actually where the ceremony for me started. So
Mm.
thank you to Honey to the Heart. I hope these strawberries and sweet amber honey really bless you deeply.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. And I want to let people know how they can get more of Guinevere's enchantments. Um, Guinevere, as you can see, everything she does with a lot of panache and a lot of real integrity. I've known her for many, many, many years, decades really. Um, and so you can find out all about her enchantments by going to Linktree. Now, people don't know Linktree. It's where people put multiple links. It's linktr.ee and then forward slash, and that's where you get Guinevere enchantments. And Debbie is putting that into the chat box for all of us. And Guinevere, are there any particular enchantments or links here you want me to open up to show people?
Well, my most active account right now is TikTok. It's growing very nicely. I have a lot of people coming in, and I do a pick a card series, usually about 3 days a week. And I have usually, 4 to 8 cards that go up, and people ask for 1 through 4, or, whatever number they like. And then I come back and I give them their answer. It's been really beautiful. I've done a whole goddess series, and the goddess series had everybody kerfuffled, which was wonderful. So far, the goddesses that were picked were Hecate and Hera, and let's see who else was picked. Oh, a rainbow goddess, Iris, from the Greek legends. So really, TikTok is a really fun place to come if you have TikTok right now. And I also have a YouTube channel, but it's been kind of sleepy because I've been dealing with my own stuff, and it just takes a long time to produce longer style videos. I can get people more magic in shorter style.
Well, beautiful. I'm going to read just a couple of the comments that have come in. Melinda writes, love horns, which are like powerful receptors of love, reaching to the sky, listening for messages not yet heard. I love this beautiful blessing. That's from Melinda. Pam writes, she is amazing. Thank you for these beautiful words and such an awe-inspiring ritual. Honey of the Heart just said thank you for what you said to them. And Anna Ohm writes, my entire day has been a ritual. And a lot of our friends on Unify are saying, perfect, oh my gosh, fire of passion for certain, a fabulous prayer and ritual, and on and on and on. So a lot of people are really appreciating all that you've created and provided to us. And I look forward to the next time you will bless us. And you never know who Guinevere might come as the next time she's on one of our shows.
Thank you so much, Scott. You mean the world to me. You know that.
Thank you very much. God bless you. See you soon. Ah, that was really fun, huh? And I so appreciate all the different forms of artistry. And again, this is the start of a new season. So let's, like she said on the bowl, let's laugh, let's love. There's this whole question. We had David Pramal and Mitten, and it was a video that they sent. And David Pramal asked the question, are we allowed to still have joy with all the suffering going on in the world, with the war in Europe, with, all the hard stuff, climate change? And of course, the answer is yes. We must find that balance of celebrating the incredible abundance of our lives, being in gratitude, but also taking time to mourn any personal losses or to mourn the collective, to mourn the challenges that our world is facing, and to pray for peace, and then to take action. We need to do all these things. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching right now. If you're watching, you are a member of the Global Peace Tribe. You are someone who cares about our world, wants to play your part, wants to play your role. And for some of you, your role is really clear right now. And maybe for some of you, life has taken certain things away, and you're kind of in that middle space of needing to rest or needing to get back in touch with what is your next step to play in your role and your part in this cosmic drama. I'm grateful that I feel very drawn to continue bringing the awakening world to you. Three shows a week at least, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday, and also special events. And so I do want to encourage people to support us because honestly, we do need support. We've raised a lot of money. We've raised almost $200,000. Oh, and for those of you asking about the 2 Afghan refugees that we raised over $2,000 for, they made it out. They are safe. They are in the United States. They have relocated. However, they have family and friends that are still in Afghanistan, and it's not safe there. And so we are going to bring them onto the show, but it's probably going to be another month or two before they can safely speak. Right now, they're having to still be very careful. I don't want to get political, but it's pretty hard what's going on. The Taliban is seeking evidence and trying to find people that could be associated with their peace movement. Isn't that sad? So those 2 are safe. Let's continue to pray for their family, and you will be meeting them on the Awakening World probably sometime in May or June at the latest. Tonight, our fundraising is for us. It's for the Global Peace Tribe. And you can support us in 3 ways. One way is just a direct donation. It's tax deductible. If you take your trusty phone and you put it up to the Q code, boom, a link will open up, and that's where you can donate to us. And your donations are really, really appreciated. That really helps out a lot. And I'll leave this up while I chat for a moment. Also, we have we've opened up registrations for our next season, and the next season will be April 1st through June 30th. So just to be clear, for those of you that have already registered or have Zoom links for what we called the winter season, that's January, February through March, you're still going to use those links tomorrow and next weekend. But then starting April 1st, it'll be a new set of links, and so it requires a new registration. And Debbie is putting the link to register into the chat box right now, which she probably already did. Now, for any of you that register before tomorrow, let's just say register today, register by the end of the night. And if you register at the $35 level or the $75 level or higher, you are going to receive a personal invitation to join Eden Amadora and I tomorrow. We're going to be doing a Zoom meeting style, and we've got some really fun treats planned for all of you. It's Zoom meetings, so turn your cameras on. We want to get to know you. We want to make it very personal, and we're going to really do personal empowerment for everybody who joins us tomorrow. That's at 2 o'clock Pacific time. I'll still have my Sacred Sunday show. I'll talk about that a little bit later during the Global Peace Tribe announcements. But then at 2 o'clock, join Eden and I. So those are ways you can support us. And then there's one last way, which some of you are really beginning to do, and it's really exciting. And that is for anybody who shops at Amazon. We now have a relationship with Amazon. It's through Unify, our good friends at Unify. And so if you shop and you put in Unify the World, you choose that as your nonprofit organization through Amazon Smile, or just use the link that's there and that Debbie's putting into the chat box, we get a money for myself. It's great. I can easily ask for money for other people. But when it's an organization, the Global Peace Tribe, like that I'm doing, I'm a little sheepish. So thank you for your support. Thank you for joining us. Thank you all. And we're going to continue to create really wonderful, wonderful shows. And our shows are going to continue to bring some of your favorites, like kind of the heart, and new favorites. Wait till you meet who I am about to introduce once they turn the camera on. We are about to meet Jamishka. Jamishka, are you there? Turn on your camera, please. Hello, hello. Well, there they are. You guys gave me a startle there for a moment. This is James and Ishka. Together they are Jamishka. And they, ironically, are friends with Justin and Marin, who you just heard as Honey of the Heart. They're all, I'm sure you've all been on many festivals together. Maria Stark, who we've had on the show, are friends of theirs.
Some of our favorites.
Yeah, so welcome. Welcome, Jamishka.
Thank you so much. So good to be here.
Tell us what your first song is, and tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Well, we're going to play a song called Indigo Child, which has a wonderful feeling of kind of being reborn and coming into spring. It seems like a good song to start off with.
Yeah,
this is James Karen, and I'm Ishkala, and we are Jamishka.
We are delighted to be here as part of this specific event, welcoming in the spring to all that comes and all we have been waiting for, working for together.
Yeah, one of the things that I really appreciate as I've listened to your music is that you're very playful. I mean, you're very talented, super talented. But there's a spirit of play and a spirit of joy. And of course, you're very theatrical, which I love. I hope you enjoyed Goddess Freya.
Of course.
Yeah. So anyway, may the theatrical musical experience continue with Jamishka.
Indigo child, why so blue? Why so blue? The world that you live in, world that you swim in is oh so blue, oh so blue. The color of my eyes is where our house of stars collides, watching as they open glowing embers in the sky. Oceans moving, time. She gazes into the waters that carry her deeply. He gazes into the waters that carry him deeply. Dream walker, where do you go? Moon river, how do you flow? Star singer, what do you know? Pray do tell me, pray do tell. Pray do tell me, pray do tell. I pray for all the rivers and the lakes and the oceans to know the love of man and of the one heart devotion. May we grow to understand the needs of earth and emotion, tame the raging fires and give of our greed for the potion. Whoa, the potion, I want the potion, that beautiful potion. Whoa, the potion. The one heart elixirs for despair and for glory. Tears fall like diamonds in this never-ending story. The return of a light and the name that is remembered will restore us all to oneness in the long cold December. Indigo, 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 go. Indigo, indigo, in the now we know. Indigo, 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 go. Indigo. indigo, indigo, go. Indigo, indigo, and now we know the movement in our mind is a time experiential as the music in this rhyme beyond tick-tock sequential. There's nothing to define as we sit inside the trickle, moving silent as the mind through all the layers into portals of the one true love. We are the one true love. This is my one true love. One love, one love, one 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 indigo, and now we know. Indigo,
Wow. Wow. How can two people? So I think the little one must have been doing. She must have been doing harmonies.
She helps.
Yeah,
She was doing most of it, actually.
yeah. She must have been doing something because I can't imagine just two people creating that much amazing sound. And who is this little one that we see who's got a magic wand?
This is Isa Grace.
Hello,
She's,
Isa.
I'd like to say she's one of our creations, but we came through her, I think, is kind of.
Well, I've got a magic wand here too, so I'm appreciating hers. Yeah, we can get out a magic wand. There we go. Yeah, thank you. You guys, that was absolutely spectacular. How have we gone this long without having you on our show? My God, how did that happen?
We've been enjoying your show, actually. So
Well, the show is certainly enjoying you now. Hey,
we're glad to be here now.
these two are so talented. I'm gonna go to their we're gonna go to a couple of websites with them tonight. They do artwork at ishkala.com. That's
Ishkala.
Ishkala, ishkalha.com. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do what I'm doing right now, which is signing up so that you can get on board for 20% off. And you're going to see in a moment what that's from. There we go. Hopefully we're staying connected. There we go. I've been at it successfully. I'm very happy.
Congratulations.
Yay! They do incredible artwork. Now, is this both of you, or is it?
The paintings are this one.
Yeah, you can click on the paintings and that'll give you a look at all the
Wow.
different ones. And that painting on the top in the center is actually the piece that was inspired by this song.
Ah, yeah.
Well, actually, they kind of, the song met the painting.
We go back and forth a lot between the visuals, the paintings that Ishka creates, and the music that we create together, and in different unions, and also multimedia, video, and different components, and some physical design too, even to get into a little bit of other stuff.
Now, what's this that I see that we can actually create our own? So you can create an art piece. So people tell you they take this, and then they can get a fine art paper, wood print. Oh my gosh, you've got all these different ways that you can take what you see here and order it. This is remarkable. Wow, even as throw pillows, your own indigo throw pillows. You
So I
guys,
like that
this
a
is
little.
really creative, really, really special. So clearly, this is a website. I'm sure Debbie's putting this into the chat box, and we'll get it over to our Unify friends as well, because this is a website to play with. Now I know what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to
Yeah.
play on your website.
It is very
And we
fun.
have lots of originals available on there as well. And I also do commissions. So that's all on there. And
Wow. I'm just going to pull up a
people
couple more
can,
of these paintings that touch me.
yeah.
Oh, look at this one. This is beautiful. Moment of Truth.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah,
Oh,
we have a
wow.
song we developed for that one as well.
Hmm.
That's powerful. That's really
Yeah.
beautiful.
We love it
Wow.
when the different arts inspire each other, so we can go back and forth between the different mediums,
Yeah, that's
such
got
like broadcasting,
aspects.
another medium,
Yeah.
another wonderful medium that you're adept in, good sir.
Well, what a joy to meet both of you. Thank you so much. And they're going to play another song for us, so we're not done with you yet.
Our pleasure.
Thank you both so much, and we appreciate your daughter letting us have you for part of the evening tonight. Thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you in a little bit.
Appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Wow, what a fun. Aren't they great? Gosh, I'm loving this show so far tonight. Well, as I mentioned at the very beginning, for this new season that we're entering, we've had Goddess Freya, who's done the ritual. We've had some beautiful music. We've got more beautiful music. And now we get to hear from really my favorite speakers, my favorite sources of wisdom, and that's the Twin Ray. Shakina Ma and Sanandaji are two people that I've gotten to know quite well. I've had the blessing of spending a week with them in their home. And I just want to say they're the real deal. They are very wise and generous, and they lead amazing lives. They accomplish a lot. They have a beautiful relationship, they have a beautiful community, and they're just super cool people. So we're going to play. I've already played for those people who came into our early Zoom room a little bit about the astrological forecast. If you missed that, you can go to our YouTube channel tomorrow and watch the early show, hear all about the early, or what they had to say in the early show about our astrological forecast. I'm then going to play approximately 20 minutes now, take a little break, more music, and then the final 20 minutes a little bit later in the show. The question that I posed to them that they're going to kind of come in on, that they'll be talking about, is how do we manage ourselves during this incredibly difficult time? How do we manage being in our heart, being in a state of love, which of course we all know we're supposed to be where we want to be, but how do we do that when there's so much suffering in the world? And that suffering might be in your personal world. It might be suffering of people that you care about that are struggling, that are going through a hard time. It could be any number of things. So that's the question that I posed. I am going to need to find where they start with that. Here we go. Okay, we'll start it there. So you're going to hear the kind of the second part of my question and their response. And then I'll come back in. We have more music and announcements. But I invite you to drop in and integrate what the Twin Ray have to say. Personal drama going on in our life, or someone we deeply love and care about that we have empathy and compassion for, or when we are so shocked and in compassion for what's happening on a global scale, and of course, the war in Europe. Who would have thought would hear those words in contemporary times? War in Europe has also shaken a lot of people. It's a big deal for a lot of people. So how do we find that coming back into ourself while remaining compassionate and demonstrating care and compassion?
Look at the world and you see conflict, or whether you look at the world and see all of the wonder that's taking place, all of the goodness that is actually happening, that is offsetting what you're speaking about. And we say to you, where is the war within you? Where is the conflict that is within you that is dominating your perception of what you're experiencing in the world?
Yeah, because any time that there's a collective event at mass scale, such as what is occurring, it's a deep reflection of the collective unconscious, and it's bringing up that very reflection of, yes, the war within. And what is that war? It's the war of duality. It's every time that you judge someone, every time that you project onto someone, every time that you judge yourself, or you're in division with aspects within yourself, that division, that individual, that individes, that's the war we're speaking about, that polarity.
Mm-hmm.
Your role as a soul that's taken a temporary body as an incarnation vehicle is to come into harmony with those polarities and to come into complete harmony with life. Now, how do you do it? It takes wisdom. It takes wisdom, it takes courage, and it takes consistency. You know, when you feel triggered because of the drama or the trauma of life, and there's someone or something outside that gives you permission to then exert that feeling inside you onto the stage of the world, whether it be war, or whether it be a family member or a friend or someone outside of you perceptually, that feeling, if it's inside you, it's a part of you, it's a part of your conditioning. Now, what's important is to stop before you respond. Just take a moment, take a pause, take a breath, and because you are more powerful than your conditioning. You are not your conditioning, but it is your responsibility to transcend your conditioning. But as soon as you respond, because your biochemistries and the cortisol and the stress hormones are expressing through your nervous system or your endocrine system, and your body's going into this tense or intensity or pressure, alchemy is taking that, sitting with it, honing that, neutralizing that, and then transforming it into a higher upregulated chemistry or feeling state. And then you go beyond chemistry and you go into pure electricity, pure electromagnetic potency. And that's what spring is about. It's about moving into this next cycle, this new cycle of life, where everything starts beginning to blossom, starts beginning to reveal its inner beauty. A beautiful practice for everyone that's listening to this is to reveal your inner beauty. And how do you do that? You have to go to your shadows, because that's the fertilizer. That's the fertilizer. That's the stuff that you don't want to touch, don't want to see. And everyone tries to avoid that until you realize that it won't stop happening until you confront it. You know, whether there's something so simple like, you know, judging someone or something for whatever the action may be, something like that, you can flip that and have greater compassion. Send a blessing.
Imagine what they must have been through in their life in order to action something like that, to have such little value for life that they themselves have such little value for their own life, deeply, deeply within them.
Yeah.
For one can only truly see themselves. In the world, all you can truly see is yourself, whether you see, and without identification, without identifying, because identity, the identity is what we call identity. It is the density that you will immediately fall into. I am this, I am that. That is the particle instead of the wave. What is the wave? The wave is the all that is. It is the infinite. The I as the infinite is vastly different than the I as the identity or the identity. So detaching from that is a practice all in its own self, and not detaching in a way that creates splits in your psyche, but detaching in a way where you can witness something and have such great compassion for its play, for the multiplicity of the expression of Mother, Father, God, and all of its creation in spirit. Can you allow yourself to be that brave and that courageous? Can you allow yourself to bring about your love and let that be greater than your fear? There is such courage in that, far more courage than picking up swords or picking up arms. There is no courage in that.
And for the ones that are listening to this, of course, metaphorically, picking up arms is reacting. That reactivity, that reaction to something. And all of that is resistance to what is. It comes down to one simple thing. It's being resistant to what is. Now, the world in itself, the matrixical field of this world, the collective field, is breaking to bits. It must. It must. A very foundation, a very blueprint. That is what is happening. It's going through a reset. But as it does that, in order to transcend that and transform that energy, that destructive, corrosive energy, we must come together. We must, especially during this time, because this is what's known as a harmony time, and we'll go into that in a moment. Especially during this time, we must come together in greater unity, because the only reason there is war is because there's division, there's separation, and it's asking for unity. That is what is on the polarity of war. So when there is any division in a country, in a state, in a person, in a community, anytime there is a projection of division, there will be a destruction to that, because the template of this universe only knows unity. It only is unity. It's only unified. There is only this one unconditional, unique expression of consciousness throughout the multiplicity. The human mind sees division through the filter of the division of the human mind's instrument, because it has that polarity. But it only has polarity when it's not connected to the heart. You see, the mind, well, not the minds, but the function of the mind, which comes through the brain, that is in division, the left and right hemisphere. Its purpose is to actually be an antenna for the heart. But the only way to do that is to connect through the pineal gland, and the pineal gland and the heart. There's a beautiful synergistic connection, because every single thing that manifests in your physical body comes from the heart. All the chakras come out of the heart. All the chakras in the endocrine system are central to the heart. All the organs, the first organ that was manifested is the heart. So everything must return to the heart, because the heart is the central pillar of all life in the human experience. And in the universal experience, all comes from that heart of love, that heart of God. And so all must return to that. So anytime there is this division, that is one taking the illusion so serious that they are now deluded, and through that delusion, they are now picking up arms or picking up swords or projecting and being the victim, and all those shadow tendencies, because they haven't alchemized that, they haven't cultivated greater light to harmonize those polarities. All that's playing out will then have to be destructive, because that's the first level of the human experience. Literally is the shadow. It's that tamastic shadow tendency. That needs to be transcended into the higher optimistic, positive expression, which is then becomes a projection of the joy that's inside you, to then share that projection with life around you.
That's right. Now, how can, when humanity, when 99% of humanity is divided within themselves, has splits of consciousness, of awareness, and yet this world is made up of that, how can the outside world externally not show that and reflect that back? It is in fact multiplied over and over and over and over again. We say to you, the real work is the internal work. Because then what happens is that when humanity becomes whole internally, inside, masculine and feminine becoming one beautiful expression of the divine, then what do you think is going to multiply in the world? Then what do you think your reflection is going to show you in the world? Then you'll start to see leaders all over the world reflecting that wholeness, that intent, that goodness that is deeply missing inside, again, 99% of humankind. And I mean this in saying, where in your lives do you not find 100% goodness inside of you? Is it in your thoughts? Is it in your projections? Is it in your critiques of others? Is it when you look in your own mirror and want to change something about yourself? It can be the most minuscule thing that needs to be returned back to love. Because this compounded amongst the billions turns into war.
Yeah, and not to mention, the land itself has the very imprint of the past experiences, and many don't know how to cleanse those lands. So they go to certain places and they can't help but think certain thoughts, because the very matrix of the energetic field or the morphogenic field of those lands have that imprint in them. So there needs to be greater harmony and greater purification for ones to actually go and purify those collective thoughts in certain regions of the world.
And it's created that way, because when there's a trauma that occurs anywhere in the world, then there's a broadcast signal of that trauma. And those people that also have a similar trauma within them start to gravitate to that area.
But the shortcut out of all of this is the axis mundi of love. Love is the axis mundi, that central column that the whole universe spirals around. And within, the one consciousness is a benevolent, loving consciousness that has no opposites. There is no opposites to love.
Not true love.
But the beliefs in some people's mind is that there's the opposite to love is fear. It's not true. Love, where there is love, there is only love. Where there is fear is the ignorance or ignoring that love.
An ignoring of God.
And an ignoring of God, of truth. That true unconditional love, which is unconditional truth, that eternal truth. Now, how do you get there? How do you get there, not just momentarily, how do you stay there? Stop identifying with the thoughts. You're not your thoughts. That is so crucial, because as soon as your thought comes in, then there's emotion that follows a few seconds later. And then all of a sudden you're convinced. You're convinced again. Oh, okay, here we go again. No, I'm feeling this way. This is you. I'm going to project onto you. I'm going to blame this. Stop that. Come inside, unmask those polarities. Discover what is inside you all along, which is the omnipresence of love, which is as simple as just being a witness. Be the witness. And whatever you have the power to change in your life, then change it.
Right. This does not absolve anyone of responsibility of their own thoughts. That feels very necessary to share. This is not a scapegoating of, oh, I can behave like this or I can think this thought because I'm not my thoughts. You are not just your thoughts. I'm going to put a caveat, because it's not that the true nature of you, of course, is not your thoughts that you're thinking. But through your personage, your thoughts do create your actions. And thus it is important to take responsibility, witness a thought and go, okay. Is that the true me? Is that truly what I wish to transmit into the world? No. Wonderful. Here's your opportunity. The pause that beloved Sanandaji spoke about earlier is just that. It's not, again, to be absorbed of your thoughts or your actions. In fact, it is the polar opposite. It is where you take even greater conviction and responsibility and full ownership for that as your thought. But
just highlighting the very simple process of when there's love, though, there's no thoughts to be found. when you're really in love, when you're not falling in love with an object or a subject of someone or
person.
something, but when you're abiding, absorbing in love, that true essence of the self, when you're in that stillness of truth, you're in the stillness of the entirety of the world. So you become the eye of the storm, so to speak, the eye of chaos. And why is there chaos? Because that chaos is trying to find a new order. So it has to go through a destructive phase. But what's it going to return to? Its center. What is its center? Love. So you come back to your center and you're already the change. You've already been the change that destruction that you're seeing is going to transmute itself into eventually.
Of course. And that's the long-term game, right? That's what people will eventually move into. Everyone will return back to the light. There is nothing that won't return back to the light. Life seeks light on this planet.
And the light that's in unborn light.
And the unborn light.
Because we're not trying to play the polarity again of light versus dark, good versus bad, all of this. No, we're talking about the unborn light of consciousness, the light of spirit that again has no polarities.
That's no polarities. It is not truly light or dark, if one can really understand.
I'm going to pause it there. Let's just take a couple of breaths. And again, let's just practice. When are we focusing on the duality? I noticed one of the comments about Ukraine defending itself. So absolutely, there is a huge part of me, because I have friends in Ukraine. I have friends in Kharkov that are facing starvation right now. My best friend owns a company that had hundreds of employees in Ukraine. I've been to Kharkov. So there is that part of me that reads the stories, that wants Ukraine to win the war, that I cheer when I see that Ukraine is doing well. I feel pain when I see. There's the part of me that sees Putin as evil. There's a part of me that has that dualistic right versus wrong, good versus bad reality that I can drop into. And sometimes I do. Okay. So that's one way we can experience this war. They're also speaking to the bigger picture. Okay. We can argue forever about what's happening over there. But let's bring it back to ourselves. What's the war inside of Scott? What are the parts of myself that are still at war with each other? When I look at Putin and I turn him into a monster, and could argue intelligently that he is, I really don't have much impact on Putin. I can send love, I can send peace. But if I look at myself, where are the places that I still judge myself? Where are the places in my relationships that I'm still judging? Who do I still judge? And how do those judgmental thoughts create little baby acts of violence? Little baby shockwaves of violence. How can I bring it back to love? How can I bring it back to love? How can I bring it back to love? Love of myself, love of the people that I'm judging. And that's what I'm hearing that they're helping to remind us of. And so I hope that for the most part, I'll take a look and see what people have written in the chat box. I'll look at some of it now, and I'll look at some of it later on tonight. But I hope that their message is meaningful, and at the very least thought-provoking, and hopefully inspirational. And I intentionally designed tonight to have a lot of music, because music is a wonderful, wonderful way to integrate. And so we have one of our favorite musical artists has come back, and I'm, of course, talking about Saritah. For those of you that haven't seen her before, she's on a worldwide mission to uplift, inspire, and activate healing of the world with her very uniquely feminine blend of evolutionary reggae, roots, acoustic soul, conscious lyrics. She brings it all together as a celebration of life. She is a perfect person to play music after we've just listened to the Twin Ray as we prepare ourselves for this new season. And I also want to say Saritah is dedicated especially to supporting other women. In the demographics show that 80% of our audience are women, to awaken their voices, to write their songs. So Saritah, thank you so much for being with us tonight. It's really
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
I'll just say that I'm gonna play this song called Gifts, and I just realized how extra relevant it is because with the spring, I've been walking around just absolutely blown away by all the flowers. Everyone, it's literally my jaws. They're just so beautiful, and I realized that they're offering their beauty and their gifts, and they don't hold back. When the time comes, they just bloom, right? And we get to behold. And this song is called Gifts. This song is going to be on my new album that's getting super close. And this song is a call to all of you, of us, to do what the flowers are doing, to bring our gifts out of ourselves and offer them to the world, because the world really needs them. And every single one has unique. There's no one else of you. You're the only one of you. So please share your gifts with the world. Yay! Come, use the gifts you've been given. Give yourself permission to be all who you are. Come, life is waiting for you. Do what you came to do and be all who you are. Come, take a weight off your shoulder. Come, take a weight off your shoulders. You can put your load down now. You can put it on the ground now. Come, the gifts you've been given. Give yourself permission to be all who you are. Come, life is waiting for you. Do what you came to do and be all who you are. Come, take a weight off your shoulders. Come, take a weight off your shoulders. You can put your load down now. You can put it on the ground now. Come, use the gifts you've been given. Give yourself permission to be all who you are. Come, life is waiting for you. Do what you came to do and be all who you are. There's nothing stopping you but that voice in your head to tell you where to go, tell a new story instead. On a life your gifts. Time to exhale all your fears. Get out of your own way, this is bigger than you. You'll be robbing from the world if you don't bring it through. Everything is working right now towards your highest good. Only you can do you, and we need you to do you. Yes, come, use the gift you've been given. Give yourself permission to be all who you are. Come, life is waiting for you. Do what you came to do and be all who you are. I see Jamishka getting down. You're sharing your gifts. Thank you for sharing your gifts. All who you are, yes, and be all who you are. All who you are, yes, and be all who you are.
That is such an important message, Saritah. Thank you so much for that. Absolutely. It's so important for us to get kind of what we were seeing on the tour tonight, bring it back to ourselves. What are the gifts I can give to the world? My mentor, Marshall Rosenberg, had a beautiful quote that your song reminded me of, and his quote was, "The greatest joy in life is to contribute to the well-being of others." And I add that the greatest tragedy in life is people who haven't learned that. The people who haven't learned the joy of giving to others are unhappy people. And the people that have learned the joy of giving to others are the people that are happy, because we can always find someone to give to. So, I know one of the ways you give to people is by helping them to sing, open their voice. And you've got a 8-week program coming up called Bloom, Write, Complete, Sing Your Songs, April 20th to June 8th. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, so I was already pre-pandemic holding voice workshops for women where we both explore like super practical ways to really awaken and activate and support our voice, and then go into using the voice as the healing tool that it is, right? Because it's sound healing, starting with our own voice. It's in our very own body, and it brings all our cells into resonating as one. And so then through the last 2 years, I've just been so driven and just so fulfilled by helping, guiding, supporting other women to write their songs, to awaken their voices. And it's very much a lens of songwriting and singing as a spiritual practice. And to really it's one of those things I think a lot of people, especially women, want to do one day, and don't necessarily get around to it, judge themselves, think they don't have a good voice, and all those, thoughts. So I'm just here to say, you are here on this earth, you have a voice, and if you have the desire, I very much believe that desires are our like celestial programming. It's like what we came here to do, so if you have that desire, I just want to invite you to write and sing your songs, whether you do it with me or in your bedroom with your instruments. And then the next step is to share them with the world, because if you have that desire, once again, then it's needed.
I noticed that Shauna just wrote in the chat box, "Thank you, Saritah. Yes, give our gifts of who we are. Keeping that flow going helps move the whole world in a positive flow, and it's much needed now."
Absolutely.
So if any of you are interested, then thank you for that, Shauna. So if people are interested, write to info@saritah.com. And she spells it SARITAH.com. Email info@saritah.com and put the subject Bloom in the subject line. She's going to come back and do another song for us. But before she does that, I also want to just alert people to your Instagram page. Everybody go to the Instagram page and uh, go to instagram.com/SaritahMusic.com. And that's a good way to stay in touch with what you're doing. And I love all these photos of you. So thank you, Saritah. And close out the main show. So she'll be back in a little while.
Thank you so much. Blessings, everyone.
I'm noticing that a couple people said they had trouble hearing. She sounded fine to me. So if people had challenges, I don't know why some people would be able to hear and others wouldn't. So that's a little bit of an oddity. So just if you were able to hear okay, pop that in the chat box. If you weren't, pop that in the chat box. We'll try and sort that out before the next time she plays, because we definitely want to make sure that everybody can hear you. All right. I do want to just make a couple of quick announcements. Tonight's Global Peace Tribe announcements. And the first one is to join us tomorrow for two events. The Sacred Sunday show, and it's going to be kind of completing our weekend of celebrating the new season. And I've brought back two of my favorite presenters, Chief Philip Scott, who is going to do a very special ceremony honoring our indigenous elders and honoring nature. And so he's going to be with us. And then Larissa Stowe. And of course, we all love Larissa. She's played on the show so many times. She's co-hosted with me. And she has her Shakti Love Warriors, and which is a powerful group that we interact with, that we collaborate with. And so we're going to do a very special meditation with her as well. So there'll be some music, there'll be ritual, and that's at 10 o'clock Pacific time tomorrow morning, our Sacred Sunday show. And the link is right down there. I'm sure that Debbie will also put the link into the chat box for everybody. So please do join us tomorrow. And then one more time tomorrow afternoon to complete our spring weekend. And I recognize again for those who are down under, it's autumn, harvest time. But join Eden and I. And really the best way to join is by registering for our new season. And by registering for our new season, by tonight, while you're watching the show or when the show is over, just register. The link is going in, and that's a wonderful way for, and those of you who register, we will invite you. It's going to be a Zoom meeting, and we'd love to have you join us tomorrow. So those are the Global Peace Tribe announcements. There are going to be a lot of upcoming events in April. We're already designing upcoming shows, upcoming Awakening Worlds, and upcoming special events. So please do join us. And now I'm going to go back to our friends, Honey of the Heart. And hopefully they'll turn on the camera in a moment. And I'll go back to myself while we wait. Let them know that we're ready for you. Honey of the Heart. I guess while we wait, I'm sure they'll be here in a moment. So I'm seeing most people are saying that they're hearing just fine. Yeah, so there are at least 15, 20 people saying that they could hear. So Ayada, it would appear that it's a challenge on your end. I'm not sure what it would be. Oh, well, Christine also had a challenge with it. So I'm not sure what that's all about. Let's take a breath. I don't know where our friends Honey of the Heart have gone. So I see that Jamishka is here. Hey, you guys, would it work for you to jump in and do your second song? Is that possible? We'll just kind of flip. And so this is what's wonderful about, we're all coming to you from our living rooms. We're all wearing pajama bottoms or yoga pants, right? And we are all family, we're all community, and this is how we kind of come together. And we've always had like some interesting moments. We were about to do a Saturday Night Live, and my internet went out 5 minutes before going on. Marianne Williamson was in the middle of a prayer and her internet went out once. So things happen. Hopefully everything's okay in Nevada City with Honey of the Heart. And I'm sure we'll hear from them a little bit later on. And we appreciate our new friends, Jamishka, coming in and jumping. And when you guys are ready, just
Hi, I think we are ready.
fantastic. Thank you so much for jumping into the breach.
The show must go on. As
Well,
they say.
Absolutely.
We specialize in improvising, so
We're also happy to help our friends Honey of the Heart, so we're always happy to be with our friends.
also, so the next song that we're gonna play is called Mystic, and there are some places later in the song that are a sweet time to like join in, even though we won't be able to hear you, but just we invite you to sing with us. And
We can
sing
hear
that
you, though.
melody.
We're
We
also
can
hackers,
feel
so we can hear you.
singing and
All of your laptop audio, regardless.
yeah.
So this song, as Ishka mentioned, is called Mystic, and it is a song, quite simply, especially in this current and very widespread crowd of wonderful people. It is for each and every one of you. Listen in, let the day begin as it fades away. Let's begin. You want to win, but will you play? Just in time. So you want to be a mystic today? Well, the world can tend to miss this, but hey, you can try, we can try, and we just might, just get by, but high, can you only look down? There's a hole in your soul where they open you up, and it goes so much further than that. Do we sing with us? We can feel it. And we can see it. Listening, I hear the ring when I hold my tongue. Traveling, a need to sing, let songs be sung. Just in time. just might just get by but hide. Can you only look in? There's a hole in your soul where they open you up, and it goes so much further than that till we are. Come on, with us. And we may not have the words, we may not have the language, but if we can get around it, then maybe we can find it. All we need to do is sing. It means everything. It means everything. It means everything. Come and join us, won't you please? Every time it's like a dream. Never stop. Never stop
Oh, you guys. Wow. Okay. I am convinced that your daughter was playing the bass underneath the table. That bass came in. It was your daughter doing that. That was
Can't
what I
tell
was
them all of
imagining.
our secrets, Scott.
Oh, what a wonderful revelation to.
We have a frozen Scott.
Scott is frozen. Hopefully he'll be
We will
back.
have to hold force for Scott, who is
Uh-oh. Am
There
I
he
back?
is. There you are, Scott.
Oh my gosh.
You're
I'm
back.
getting an internet connection is unstable message. That's not good.
it is the great equalizer. We all go there.
It is. But the good news is Honey of the Heart live. They are here. And so we'll have
Oh,
them
we
play
know
a
that.
little bit later on. Welcome back, Honey of the Heart. Let's learn more about Jamishka. This is your primary website, and it's your name, jamesandishka.com. And a magical musical maelstrom of modest magnificence. Absolutely.
It's
Is
subtle.
there
It's
any-
our subtle title.
I love how colorful. I mean, you guys got a lot going on. There you are playing the Great American Music Hall. Anything you want to kind of direct us to?
Yeah, well, we have a little our first little public tour playing publicly
In 2
in
years.
2 years in Hawaii coming up,
Oh,
and
We
I
just got asked to do
wanted
that recently, so we have a small tour in Hawaii, and that got set up in the last few weeks. It's all quite new, and we're very excited. We figured it's a pretty good place to kick things off. Some good
yeah.
folks out there.
So we're playing at the Honau Now Farm on Kona side on April 2nd for all Hawaii people, and we're also
Two more, right?
yeah, we're playing at Sundari on the Puna side, and we're getting all that firmed up as we speak. So, and there's also
Literally.
another house concert and a workshop, a drawing workshop that I'll be teaching as well. over
So I
there.
imagine that people can do update it. It'll be on your website. People will be able to find the
You
details.
can also reach out and say hi too. Any questions, you can also just reach out to us as well.
Yeah, we'll be posting that on our website. We did also post about it on our Instagram and on Facebook. So if you look for Jamishka, you'll see it all there too. Feel
Beautiful.
free to
And
reach out too.
And people are already saying how much they're loving your beautiful art. So there you go. Thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you for jumping in, and I definitely hope you'll come back and play with us again sometime in the spring.
We would love
Yeah, we would love that.
Okay,
that. It's
great.
an honor to be here.
Aloha, and stick around. We still have some wonderful things taking place tonight. Thank you so much. All right. Well, hopefully my internet's going to hold up. And I'm going to go back to the second part. There's about 17 minutes left of the Twin Ray. So let's go back and complete what they had to say.
Your mind will never understand that. But
Because we're so in the duality. We're so in our mind is trained for duality. So that's where we can't comprehend it.
yes, but that's the whole point, because the whole spiritual journey is to transcend the minds. When you're beyond the mind, you become witness, and the witness, the experience, and the totality of your true self. But in order to live in alignment to that divine human nature, you must purify the mind. So the mind becomes this blank canvas that expresses the divinity of spirit through its life. And then that mind is then the broadcast beacon for the light of the heart that then transmits that. And so that's the antidote for all of this chaos. But if we were to see the polarity of chaos, the word and the etymology of chaos, we find cosmos. So the cosmos is the divine order, is everything in perfect synergy, which is always there. And the chaos is returning to that order, because chaos is only perceptual. It's the only thing it is, it's perceptual. Now, of course, this does not negate compassion. Compassion is why the last 2 years had to happen. Really, the lesson out of all this is compassion. And to move forward with that compassion, that is the grace that spring is all about, to spring forth in that compassionate heart, that compassionate light, to be that change and express that change with love, but not a love that is not able to speak truth or be discerning or be very centered. A love that is multifaceted, multifactorial in any given moment.
And this is where Pluto is the deliverer. And this is why I return back to, but the heart of Pluto is not yet completed. It is nearly complete, and it is asking the deliverance of love of humankind through this process to create the fullness of the heart again.
And we're talking about the imagery. If you look at certain imagery of Pluto, the celestial body has a specific scarring on the surface of Pluto that actually shapes a heart. But it's like a three-quarter. And so that extra aspect is what delivers you to the higher truth, which is that unmasking, uncovering, and purifying process.
Unmasking, what an interesting, analogy. The unmasking, and I love what everything you're saying is so beautiful and so clear. This is a really clear transmission that we all must watch over and over to really take it in. And I love the whole thing that Pluto wants us to complete the heart. That is so beautiful. So you've done an amazing job just now of telling us what we have to do on the inner level, how to manage our thoughts, how to really keep coming back to compassion. On a physical level, I have learned so much from you about the body and detoxification and purification. Can you share with us, as we come into this spring season, your thoughts and ideas about physical purification?
Yes, absolutely. Physical purification would start at the cellular level and as it manifests out biologically. But as we're moving into spring as well, it's really essential to start cleansing the temple, cleaning out the temple, essentially. And the best way to do this, there's many reasons to do this. What we find is the best way is to have a lifestyle of detoxification, like daily detoxification. So you're not needing to, okay, we're moving seasons, now I have to cleanse, or now I have to do this. And then it becomes these extreme, very, sometimes tough for many to stay focused during that time to do. But in order to do that, you must make those simple adjustments. A very simple way to change your life in purifying the temple is eliminating things that don't serve you and keeping a food journal. So what that means is that if you've got all this noise inside you and you're eating whatever you want for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and there's no way to really be in tune with your physical body, then you need to start eliminating the high processed food. So anything that's not a whole food. What is a whole food? A whole food is an organic produce that is not processed. It has the whole matrix of it. It's not a synthetic, it's not isolated. Certain vitamins or certain compounds, there's a certain isolation of something specific, whether it be a specific vitamin, a specific amino acids, a specific protein, or a specific probiotic, whatever strand that is. When there's an isolation, it doesn't have the totality of what nature needs.
Which means it will never have the totality of the benefits that you're looking for.
So what is the totality? It's the spectrum, because everything has in its matrixical nature, it has a spectrum of electromagnetic energy, that each part of that matrix supports that spectrum for your cells to be recharged by that spectrum of energy. Because whatever you eat, your body just digests it and breaks it down into millions and millions and billions of pieces, and then allows it to actually be absorbed. But really, something very simple as either polysaccharides or monosaccharides. Poly means many. So polysaccharides are those high complex sugars that are like carbohydrates that are really hard for the body to actually process. And they can really clog up the body. Monosaccharides, which are just single fruits. So if you were to just start doing a juice cleanse, like a cold pressed juice cleanse, that gives you all that phytonutrients, that nutrition delivers it directly into your cells. So you're receiving a full spectrum of something so easily digestible within your body. Now, if your body doesn't digest sugar too well, that's because spleen, pancreas, gallbladder, liver, kidneys, adrenals are not working efficiently. So in order to allow the body to regroup, cleansing is necessary. So you slow down the productions of the body breaking down all these complex food into simple food. So that can be done with a water fast, that can be done with a juice fast, or it can be done with like a smoothie fast. And if you can't do that yet because it's too much for you, start with an elimination diet, removing things like high produced foods or highly concentrated sweeteners, or things that are preventing your body to really heal itself.
Let's talk for a moment. Beloveds out there wondering, oh, I eat pretty healthy, I don't feel maybe that I need to cleanse, and I feel good, I have a lot of energy. That may be true. But most beloveds live in the city. Most beloveds, and even those who live in farmland, the air is not as pure as one might think it is. So you are always being exposed to toxins, EMF, towers, cellular, all of this that this world lives and breathes with, essentially.
Yeah. If you have a phone,
a computer, a laptop, most people sleep with it right next to their bed.
Get that away from you.
Right? So why? But before we go into a little bit about what we just talked about, why? And this is the why. And why would one want to do a yearly or a detox protocol every 6 months? And basically that just means that everything you've accumulated through that time period, you're going to detox what, in a week? No, doesn't quite work like that. But a daily detox, we've recently become really passionate about a daily detox because, for a long time, our teachings have not really been about this, just what we've done with our lives. But now what we're doing is we're bringing more into the world our ways
how we live
of
our
life and how we live our life.
Yeah. And when you look at the toxicity of the environments, don't get attached to it. The body is incredibly durable. It really is, but you have to give it a chance to do so, to rebuild itself, to renew itself, to rejuvenate itself. You have to give it what it needs, not only physically, but also emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. But here's the thing. If you've got a toxic body, or you haven't detoxed heavy metals from your body and your organs aren't functioning, your emotional state is always going to take a dive. You're always going to be in the traumas and the dramas of life because your body hasn't created resilience to actually be really in your pillar. So when we talk about everything that we have in the last half an hour about being loved, being in your center, finding that stillness, being in the awareness, someone listening to that and be like, yeah, that's all well and good for you or for some, but how do you do that when you have this problem, that problem? What we find is when you detox and cleanse, you are more resilient. Your frequency is so alkaline. Your frequency is at such a high perspective and a frequency of such a high vibration that you're just not interested. You're just like, I'm just not going to play that game. Like,
yes, and beloved, that's such a beautiful point, and it's important to share from here, is that your toxic emotions are acidic.
mm-hmm.
So if we were to classify them as either alkaline or acidic, we could very clearly say and easily say that negative emotions, negative thought patterns, negative behaviors are acidic, where your positive thoughts, your high vibrations, your beautiful actions that you take in the world are much more alkaline. What that means is that if you are one who's doing the deep work and the deep excavation, beautiful, and bless you for that. But if you're also not doing the physical work, then all of that, which is still acidic inside of you, still holding on to the energy that you are trying so hard to release. And this is why a daily detox protocol is very important.
Yeah. And we will, what we've shared with our Miracle Mentorships group is that when you understand detoxification, it can become very simple. There's no such thing as disease. There really isn't. Symptoms of the body, and that's a big one for people to digest. But if you understand that there is dis-ease, but disease, that is a fabrication of taking the leaves and going, oh, well, the leaves are discolored, the leaves are brown, but not looking into the roots. And when you isolate something in life and you don't see it from its holistic perspective of emotional, mental, spiritual, and physiological, you're only looking at one aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens in the physical body, there's only really two things, inflammation and acidosis, and they're actually just one thing. So when you've got a buildup of acidosis, you're down on the pH scale. And that then thoughts are going to be attracted that are more acidic. Actions are going to be more acidic. Those tendencies are going to be more acidic, which is more corrosive, which is more destructive. But when you start coming up to the spectrum, becoming more alkaline, not too alkaline, but perfect balance, that perfect seven, that having the perfect balance between alkalinity and acidity.
We're talking about your pH at this moment.
When you pH the body, or you bring the balance of pH within the body, you generally have harmony in your thoughts. You have harmony in your organ language, in the way that your body responds.
Mm-hmm.
And then that can dissolve and transform and alchemize that acidosis or that inflammation, because the body will give you symptoms. But what it's saying to you, it's speaking to you, it's communicating to you what its needs are. You're just not listening. And when you listen to it, and you live in alignment and you go through all the food conditioning. A lot of people eat for comfort and eat for that instant pleasure or emotional, to help emotionally.
Emotional eating is a misidentification with hunger. Does not mean that you are in fact hungry or in need of nourishment other than emotional nourishment.
So what we say is give your body a break. Give your body a pause, give your body a breath. Start maybe taking away the things that you know aren't good for you. Start having more of a simple diet for at least a week, 2 weeks. What we'll be introducing in the near future,
this is just a peek,
is a platform of whole supreme foods that will give you a whole nutritional, support to not only remove what's the toxicity of heavy metals, but take that out of your body, and any pollutants that are inside the body, remove that, but then actually start revitalizing the body. So you have this powerful energy and available energy to really do anything that you feel in your heart necessary, but also to rejuvenate the body, to actually rebuild, renew the body. So we'll be releasing this soon and we'll share more about that.
Sacred Six. We, beloved Scott, as you already know, we have spent the greater part of 2 decades walking barefoot on the lands all over this world, doing healings on the earth, the grids, the ley lines, the sky, all sorts of important things in order to harmonize this world and thus eventually harmonize humanity. And through this process, as we have blessed the earth has now blessed us. And what has been revealed to us, we are now bringing forth for humanity. And so we're so close. We're just weeks away from the very first small batch of these sacred six.
Yeah, well, everything that we do it very consciously, small batch. We only use the highest, ingredients possible. So it's wild crafted beyond organic or the highest quality organic. And so it takes a lot of time and presence. But what we want to, offer is imagine for a moment, just imagine if you had all that the body needed, all the minerals, all the phytonutrients, all the proteins, every single thing that your body needed to be nourished inside and rebuild itself, rejuvenate itself. And then whatever you chose to eat was just entertainment. You ate it because you got to enjoy it. You eat it because you choose to. Now that's why we've created what we've created. That's really to offer that freedom with food. And to start that process, everything that we've mentioned, you can do just to support yourself. Get this powerful download that's coming right now to this March equinox, because it is a powerful time and a harmony time like we shared earlier.
I cannot wait. I am really looking forward to that. And thank you so much for the gifts of your wisdom all this time, sharing. I love you both so much. And I know on behalf of the entire Global Peace Tribe, much, much love and appreciation to you both.
Okay, beautiful ones.
Thank you, beloved. And thank you, everyone that's with us. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Isn't that a beautiful idea about our food trip? To get all of our nutrition and then, okay, what do I want to eat for fun? What's my little sweet treat going to be? I love that idea. We're going to hear from Honey of the Heart in about 60 seconds. I just want to let people know that if you have not already joined the Twin Ray, they've got a lot of different offerings, including even a retreat that's going to come up in late April. But a good start is if you go to twinray.com, access their free video series. It's called The Divine Paths of Freedom. And that's how I got started when I first was introduced to them over a year ago. I've since joined their mentorship program, and I really enjoy just about all things Twin Ray. But here's a good way to start it. Just go to twinray.com, and there's all sorts of wonderful things. By the way, that is their home. I've been inside that room. It's when I first saw them, I thought, oh, it must be like a really cool Zoom backdrop. But no, they've got a beautiful temple. So, all right. Honey in the Heart live. They're with us. We are grateful. People are applauding. There they are. Welcome back, you two.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you, Jamishka, for filling in there. We really appreciate you guys. And such a sweetness to see you guys here on the show.
We missed we missed the ritual magic rounds. We need more of those.
We were jamming with you on the last one. Actually.
Yeah, we were singing along. Yeah, I think we must have been doing our last sound check, thinking we were coming on a little later.
So we have a fun one for you guys here. And this one we just released a couple months ago. If you check it out on our online Spotify Bandcamp, honeyoftheheart.com exists.
We've been working on a video for it. Did a lot of shots of it.
Yeah. Just went down to Mexico and got some really good shots. So it's called Rolling Down the Coast.
It's kind of the next layer of spring of like whoosh. All right, here we go. What adventures await?
I wanna go roll down the coast to where the bay waves roll. I wanna see all of the trees from Big Sur to Mendo, to bring you to this gratitude right here in this moment with you. I wanna go roll down the coast to where the big waves roll.
The warm breeze and hopes to find you, feeling gratitude through my soul and more
appreciate the smallest things, what we're here for.
Sit back, relax, and find peace to be safe. Standing still, moving slowly like the big trees teach. Teach our children to play like dirt and water to make mud like. Master into laughter and divide turns to prayer like. Respect throughout community, differences bow down to. History shows us how we must find paths to strive through. Tall forest and underbrush, push back and hack through. Machete like tools for visions to get to. Seeking a path, symbiotic collisions. Burst past the atoms and merge with these visions. Get past the divide and work through this vision.
Work through this vision. Live strong in the way you really want to. Keep forward and appreciate impromptu. Gratitude coming in from the outer scene. Gotta look for what you really want to see. Got the big beat coming from inside you. Got the feeling and that's always a good clue. Days of feet keep immunity through and through. Shed the blame and I reach for me, I reach for you. This is what we need. The outside reflected by the inside. This is what we see. This is how we pray. This is what we need. The outside reflected by the inside. This is what we see. This is how we stay. The vision of break of my feeling. The vision is hidden the scene. Static ringing. If you shake up the break up, take us on. Just talk up and shake the envelope. You can't make this stuff up. So I can flow. Keep up with my soul. Whoa.
Keep my heart whole.
Keep my heart whole. Yeah. Keep up with this flow.
To be safe, standing still, moving slowly like the big trees teach. Teach our children to play like dirt and water to make mud. Next turn to life, divide turns to prayer life. Respect throughout community, differences bow down. History shows us how we must find paths to strive through. Tall forest and underbrush, push back and hack through. Machete like tools, visions to get to. Seeking a path, symbiotic collisions. First past the atoms and merge with these visions. Get past the body, work through this vision.
Work this vision.
This strong in the way you really want to.
Keep forward and appreciate impromptu. Gratitude coming in from the unseen. Gotta look for what you really want to see. Got the big beat coming from inside you. Got the feeling and that's always a good clue. Just a big keep immunity through and through. Shed the blame and reach for me, I reach for you. This is what we need. The outside reflected by the inside. This is what we see. This is how we pray. This is what we need. The outside reflected by the inside. This is what we see. This is how we stay. I wanna go, roll down the coast to where the big waves roll. I wanna see all of the trees from Big Sun to Mendo to bring me to this gratitude right here in this moment with you. I wanna go, roll down the coast to where the big waves roll.
That was a little fake ending for you guys.
That was fantastic, just fantastic. One of our people writes, Shauna writes, the outside reflected by the inside. Love that lyric line. Yeah, it's true. That's definitely very much what this show is all about tonight. Thank you so much. And we kept saying rolling down the coast. I was picturing you writing the song as we were like heading down to Mexico. You know, I could see you in your car beginning just kind of jamming and maybe singing together. That was my fantasy.
Yeah, I think we found ourselves inside the song, living in Mexico. That's great.
Yeah, I was always picturing California coast with the song when we first wrote it. And then once we were down to Mexico, we're like, oh, this coast is way longer.
We kept
And
rolling.
it's just a perception of actually how much farther, we can go with inclusion.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, beautiful. So a reminder, we're all going to meet in Nevada City on April 18th. We're all going to be there for their show on.
Well, the second is the house concert, and the 8th, I believe it is
That's right,
the
April
Crazy
8th.
Horse. Yeah.
Yes. April
With our
8th.
good friends, Bright Side Blue. If anybody knows those guys, they're pretty special.
Oh, cool.
and-
Yeah. So April 2nd is the house concert. That's right.
With the
And
Wind
April
Weavers.
8th. All right. Wow. I'm going to do my best to make it out for one of those because I sure enjoyed seeing you last year.
Yeah. That was very sweet.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being with us. God's blessings. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you all
Scott.
for your
Yeah,
presence.
thanks everybody. It's a blessing to be here.
See y'all soon. Wow, what beautiful music. What a beautiful show. And we still have a lot more to go. Hey, that rhymed. I'm a poet and I don't know it. Sean Nato is with us. And I just met her recently. She's a new friend. But she's got so much wisdom and, as you can see, fabulous energy. And Sean has written a book and is going to talk, well, she can talk about whatever she wants to talk about because she has a lot of wisdom. I know it'll certainly include sensual intelligence. And as we move into this, for those of us that are moving into spring, the birds are tweeting, the grass is green, we're all feeling a little bit more frisky. The body is hopefully with trimming down from all that winter food. We just heard the Twin Ray reminding us about eliminating and being more in the body. And so I look forward to hearing what you have to share, Sean about anything as we move into this new season.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been so beautiful. It's like sensuality and sensual intelligence, and everything that we're doing is like all about connecting, this embodied, artful connection with our feelings, with our bodies, with our self-expression. And it's so, it's thinking about like just all the different lines that have been here, like with Jamishka, when you all were speaking about, being the mystic and, and everything that comes with that. And then earlier, Honey of the Heart, you're talking about, the what's on the inside and what's on the outside. And then also with our main speakers is speaking about like, what is, how do we bring our, our whole selves, like all of our integrated parts. And like, this is like, for me, I really feel that sensuality and sensual intelligence is the way that we can bring all of ourselves, invite all of ourselves to celebration, to love, and to expression. I mean, we are sensual beings. I mean, we use our bodies to be out in the world, to communicate with each other. So whether, and so, yeah. So anyways, what I'm going to do is I want to read a little bit from just like from my book, some things that I was like inspired by with hearing everyone's shares and all the music. And one of the big components is self-love of sensual intelligence. And it says, you are made from love. You are the extraordinary movement of over 100 million sperm cells, all dashing together towards the incredible stillness of one egg. And when that egg allowed the sperm to enter, they merged to create something new and magnificent. You are an eternal blossom, an act of self-love, an act of love multiplied billions of times over. You are motion and peace, chaos and tranquility, conceived in the darkness of the womb to be a light into the world. And self-love and sensual intelligence is when you realize the exquisite work of art that you are. And, all of this is about being able to see and accept all the aspects of yourself. Because when we are able to see and accept and be in joy with ourselves, then that's when we're actually able to connect with each other. We're actually able to see each other and be in empathy with each other. And I feel like, I know that what we're speaking about is why is there war? Why is there chaos? Why is all this disconnection? And part of it is when if we've been taught to disconnect from this beautiful, divine creature that we are, this manifestation, this embodied manifestation that we are, when we divorce ourselves from it or try to nip it and tuck it and change it and judge it and do all these different things in order to make ourselves into what we should be, we miss the gift of who we actually are. And sensual, and how beautiful to be able to connect to our senses and use our senses, our taste, our touch, our smell, our sight, a sound, in order to feel the divinity of ourselves and the divinity of others. And in that, create love, expression, and acceptance. So that's what this book is about. What I'm about, it's all about, how do we feel and be in these bodies and express them in such a way that we are an embodiment of peace, that we are an embodiment of art and creation, that we are an embodiment of these songs that are being sung into our bodies. How do we, there's one thing, we can use these bodies to literally walk peace, to walk love. One of my biggest, most beautiful memories was a Black man walking down the street with the most beatific, amazing, graceful, angelic smile on his face in Arkansas. And it was he was a walking gift. He was walking love. And that was over 20 years ago. But my mom and I remember that 2 seconds always. And the reason, and that is the reason why, why we sing, why we do this work. We have the ability to change the world by just walking, by just being. And we can do that when we create, when we actually see the divinity of ourselves and live the divinity of our sensual intelligence and our self-love. So that's all. That's what the book is about. It's poetry and all the different things in order to discover yourself, discover love, to embody it. And so
that I'm not going to let you go that quickly. You are doing what you just described, that gentleman in Arkansas. You are giving us a transmission of being in the body in joyfulness. And so I want to ask you, what is your practice if you happen to have a day where you don't wake up in the morning feeling this joyful, or when something hard, either in the world or in your life, happens? What's your practice? What's your practice for being present to whatever it is, and then coming back into the beautiful state that we get to see you in tonight?
everything I've written about is it's a practice that I feel and also a practice that I teach. And taking that moment to just I'm gonna read one little section in the book first, and then I'm gonna this, because this kind of explains it in a pretty way. So, and this is also something that I do. So sensual intelligence, or just being, it is the space to be who we are, complex beings with a taste for the bitter, salty, sour, pungent, as well as the sweet. The richness of life is not solely about seeking pleasure. It is so much more than that. The whole of who we are and what we can become is found through sensing what is and gaining pleasure from that truth. And the truth ain't always sweet, but it's damned good. And so for me, that's what it is. I mean, it's been, I like literally being in a meditation on what is, and like going deep into the layers when shit is going down, when I'm when I'm feeling sad, when I'm feeling scared, when I'm like, feeling others in the world. It's taking that breath and looking in deep, and just really being with what is, being in the presence of that, being in the miracle of that, so that we can, and that really just shines a light on, on the presence, on, and just honors, honoring the suffering, honoring the movement, honoring the change, honoring the scariness, but then in that actually being able to hold it. Because for me, I find that anytime I've been pushing something away and judging it and, saying it should be this way or that, it actually prolongs it. And then it also creates an internal rift inside of me. So what I do is like, it's breathe and like, just, I see you, I see that, I feel you, I feel that. Breathe again and be with it. Then I ask when I get, and after I do that, then I ask, what do you want? What do you need? What do you need to say? And so that's like, that's a practice.
It's a beautiful practice. It's a powerful practice. Somebody just wrote in the chat box about how perfect what you're saying goes along with what the Twin Ray was saying. And it is the question of our times of how can we be present to what is without getting pulled into the drama. And what you just said is what my mentor Marshall Rosenberg taught is we might notice our thoughts, but like the Twin Ray said, we are not our thoughts. Let's transcend the thoughts. And what's real is the emotional feeling we have in the moment. And then the beauty of what you said, what am I needing? What are you needing? What are you longing for right now? And the longings are actually always beautiful. If we focus on the deficiency, let's say we're longing for connection, longing for intimate connection. If we focus on, oh my God, I'm so lonely, we're focusing on the deficiency. If we pivot into the beauty of the longing for connection, right? That's what we long for is always beautiful. It always tastes good if we aren't focusing on the fact that we're not having it right now the way we want it.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, I really feel like, like this, I mean, it's not like, is this type of practice, not like, okay, it's going to be immediate and make things stop and like everything's going to change. I really feel like this type of thing it's a living meditation. It's a way to live life so that we create something that can really, really honor and be with the complexity of life and being.
Yeah.
And then, because I feel like sensuality is about really feeling the nuance. When we stop feeling and being in the nuance, then we create things in black and white and this and that and bad and wrong, etc. But when we're able to really be in the nuance, like being able to, we can use these vessels, these bodies to feel the nuance, to feel all of the different things. And then therefore it starts to create different kinds of conversations. It creates conversation, instead of like, okay, this is how it should be, etc. And so like, for me, like sensual intelligence is so much more than, it is about all of this, but then, being able to be with the whole palette of our lives, our living, our tasting, our touching, etc. So that, so then we can't immediately other or blame or, make bad something or someone.
Beautiful. I have one last question for you. You happen to be chronologically young and physically beautiful.
Mhm.
And what do you say to those of us that are older, that where gravity has taken its toll for longer, we've had more decades, because we do live in a culture that associates sensuality, sexuality with youthfulness and with physical beauty, which you were blessed with. So
Mhm.
what do you say to those of us that are older?
Yeah. And for me, like, no matter what, whether you're older, whether you have physicality that isn't like, quote unquote, that's not the thing, that's not the rage of today. Or if you have like invisible, a lot of people like have invisible things about them, that they have judgment, or they have shame, or they have something. So we have, there are all these stories that get created within ourselves, whether they are coming from the outside, whether it's visible or not. Using sensuality, using this to actually bring curiosity, once again, bring curiosity and curiosity, presence to exactly what is and where we are. So for me, so I have invisible things that are like, that'll be judged. And in order to heal that, I just had to look it in the face, and and just love that part about me. And also, all the things that are changing in my body. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm getting all the things. But it's like, it's literally creating a practice of, this is who I am, this is where I am, and how is that, and how can I just be with that as beauty. I think about that. The reason why I talk about sensual intelligence as like art is because we don't judge a piece of leather, and like in its softness and its wrinkles, etc., as something bad. We actually like, actually be with it, we feel it, we smell it, we like actually be with what exactly it is. And that's who we are as humans as well. If I have like, let's say I have stubble on my chin or whatever, I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's like, I mean, I could be like, oh my goodness, that's so interesting, what a beautiful manifestation of me.
Thank you. Yeah, finding something to be grateful for. Finding, for me, I've got my hair. We all have to find that part of ourselves that go, I do have a great nose, or I do have a beautiful lips, or I do have nice hair, or whatever it is. To start there. Find what can we find within ourselves that is beautiful. Now, stick around because we're all going to have some fun. I want to invite everybody to take her sensual IQ type quiz. And I'm going to keep her on the line, and we're going to do it together because I don't want to interrupt. We're going to hear from Saritah playing music next. But everybody go to ShawnRee.com. That's ShawnRey, ShawnRee.com. Right off the bat, you're going to see Take the Sensual IQ type quiz. So I want to encourage everybody to take the quiz. And we're going to all take the quiz together right now. So go ahead, start the quiz. It expires shortly, and we're going to take it. And while I'm taking this, I am a returning person, and I'm going to go back to you, but I am going to be taking it while you tell us a little bit more about the different types of sensual. And that way, when I'm done taking it, I'll know that everybody else will have hopefully had enough time to take it. So I'm going to put the full spotlight on you, take the quiz, and tell us what are some of the different types that people might be.
Yeah. And we all have all the types, but some of them end up getting highlighted just based off of different life experiences. And it's good to know what your type is, just so that it just gives you this information about how you're processing information, how you're processing like your interactions with others. So one that's really beautiful, like that's I feel like a lot of people here could possibly be, who knows, I don't know. There's the mystic. The mystic is what they're connected to is psyche, and like, spirit, the heart, and just in transcendence. And they are the wisdom keepers of the sensuality. They are the ones that take all of the all the ancient wisdom, and also the transcendence and connection to God and spirit, and are able to create, when they're healthy, able to create an embodiment of that. There is the diva, which is like fire and passion and eroticism, and like rah rah rah, and like the rage and the full expression, full bodily expression. And and each one of these have a beautiful gift, beautiful something to give. There is the intellect, who is like really like connected. And thank you so much for. Oh, sorry. Oh, anyway, so there's like the intellect, and then there's the empath, who is deeply connected to heart, and and able to really see and feel the feelings of others, connected to water and flow. Anyways, there's 7. The sensualist, who's like really in the connected to the body, to beauty, to the senses, etc. And so each one is like just an expression of, when we have all of them, it's like, oh, we're able to like really like play in our lives with each other. Anyways, so that's
Really fun. And I just took it, and I'm an empath again. I'm an empath again.
Oh.
Now, listen, everybody, take the quiz, and if you feel really adventurous, you can put in the chat box what you got. And let's all buy her book. I've actually already bought it. So if you go to her website and then click book, and you can order it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, or Apple Books. And we all want to learn about this lost IQ of sensual intelligence. So let's all buy the book. Let's take the quiz. And let's take in this wonderful transmission, this wisdom from this wonderful bright light, Sean-Ri. And you are, so really everybody tonight is such a gift to our world. The musicians, beloved Guinevere putting on that amazing, God knows how long it took her to get her makeup and that whole ritual in order, right? So all of you are just such beautiful gifts. Thank you, Sean-Ri. And I sure hope we'll see you again on a future show soon.
Thank you.
And everybody take the quiz, buy the book, okay? All right. Well, we are winding down to the conclusion of the main show, but we've got a really beautiful after show. We're going to be doing prayers for peace. We have a wonderful new friend, Daniela, who is going to be leading a prayer. And we've got music with Fanny and Vigari. I'm just going to pop them on there. There's Fanny and Vigari. They're all getting ready, watching. They're going to join us for music. And we've got back from Peru, Omashar. And then there's our friend Daniela, who's going to lead the prayer for peace. So we have a whole beautiful after show planned. So stick around for that. But for now, to conclude our main show, the lovely Saritah. How did you enjoy the what you've seen so far, Saritah? What stands out for you from tonight?
Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it all. I love what Sean-Ri just shared. I love how much I felt like I was talking to her in person. Like I was with her, because she was like all up. Her energy just like poured through the screen. I loved that so much. And I've loved the music. I've loved Honey of the Heart and Jamishka. Just so beautiful. The harmonies. Yeah. You always put together such a magical and powerful lineup, Scott.
Oh, thank you. Well, you're a big part of that lineup, and thank you for being with us. So what song are we going to listen to next?
So I'm gonna play New Day, and this song is out in the world. It came out, it's the most recent song I've put out, and I wrote it literally, I was staying in a friend's property in her yurt.
I can't hear her, she's muted.
I'm actually hearing her fine.
That's so bizarre. Some of you hear me fine, and some of you don't hear me at all. And I don't know why that is.
Yeah, that happened last time. We had about a few people said they couldn't hear her. I don't know if it's like a stereo thing that maybe you're on a mono track, and so try different things. Omashar, let us know when you can hear her. Saritah, maybe go into your audio settings.
Okay, how's this? I unchecked stereo audio.
Can you hear her now, Omashar?
Can anyone not hear me now?
I can hear you fine. I can hear
Okay,
you
he
fine.
said that he...
Okay.
Okay, so whatever that...
Maybe it was a stereo thing.
Yeah, I think it must have done.
Sneaky little setting. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad we sorted that out so that everyone can hear. So this song is called New Day. It's out in the world in all the places. I wrote it coming out of my friend's yurt where I was staying on her property, and I just was greeted with this gorgeousness of this new day. And really, that's the place it comes from, is just really giving thanks for every new day that we're blessed to wake up and be in a body on a planet, in a galaxy. It's just really the most miraculous thing. And the other more zoomed out meaning is like in the video at the beginning that you showed us, Scott, that this is a new beginning. It really feels like it's been a reset for humanity, for the earth, for consciousness, and we're here for it. So, new beginnings. Spring has sprung. The new paradigm is blossoming. Every single morning when I wake up and I see a new day is dawn. Oh, I'm giving thanks to the Creator. I promise I'll do my all to live it in a good way. Remember, every moment matters each day. The blessings, they are endless. What do you say? People, it's a new beginning. Come what may. Life is what we make of it. Come on now, let's live some life. Life, oh, life is happening. Come on now, let's share some time. Life is what we make of it. Come on now, let's live some life. Life, oh, life is happening. Yeah, new day dawning, new beginning, new day dawning. Birds are singing. Every single morning when I wake up and I see a new day is dawned. Oh, I'm giving thanks to the Creator. I promise I'll do my all to make the most of this day, to live in truth and to do so kindly, to use my voice for good with sincerity, to do the best I can with all my abilities. Life is what we make of it. Come on now, let's live some life. Life, oh, life is happening. Come on now, let's share some time. Life is what we make of it. Come on now, let's live some life. Life, oh, life is happening. Yeah, new day dawning, new beginning, new day dawning. Birds are singing. Oh, it's so nice to see you all. New day dawning, new beginning, new day dawning. Birds are singing. Every single morning when I wake up and I see a new day is dawned. Oh, I'm giving thanks to the Creator. I promise I'll do my all. Hey.
Everybody, twinkle. Let's all twinkle. Sarita, including Alan and Son and all of their friends in Santa Cruz or Boulder Creek. Lots and lots of love.
Ooh, I'm gonna be in Santa Cruz next week.
This little group you see right here, they're probably in Boulder Creek, right? I'm guessing, or Santa Cruz. That's where they tend to hang
Fun.
out.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Sarita. Thank you. That's a great song. Just great.
Thank you so much. It's a joy and a blessing. to share
And
the music
and
of the
Sean
song.
Ree's back. So there she's back with us now. Yeah, you two both just really lit up um, this last little part of the show. Thank you so much. A reminder that Sarita does have this really wonderful course that's going to be starting soon, and where she can support women, their voices heard, and that you don't have to be a professional singer or anything like that. This is for anybody who just wants to, I guess, really sing. And is it also about music composition or more about singing?
This one, so I have different programs I run. This one is both. This one is the songwriting and voice. So it's really like getting to um what's it called when you distilling, like what do you want to say? You know, what wants to come through you? And the only way to get to the other side of that is to show up for it. So, yeah, we're starting in April and we meet every week for 8 weeks. And then in the final week, we offer what we've created to the group. And I always cry. It's very beautiful.
Beautiful. Well, that's called Bloom. And again, if you're interested, send her an email, info@sarita.com, and just put in the subject line Bloom. And one last thing, just a reminder that she's got a website, and it's her name. It's saritah.com. And remember, she's Saritah, saritah.com. And I'm pulling it up. There she is. And there's a new day. We just heard a song. So that's the first thing that comes up. And all of her music, her songs, videos, all things Saritah can be found at
Yeah,
Saritah.
there's a video out for New Day too that I got up at 3 a.m. to film because we filmed it in the New Day. We filmed it at dawn.
Oh, wow. We'll have to watch that. I'll pull that down and we'll play it. Thank you. Saritah,
Thank
it's
you,
always a
Scott. Thank you,
pleasure.
everybody.
Thank you so much for being with us. God bless you. All right. Well, we're almost done with the main show, but again, we've got Fanny and Vigari, the Mystiques. We've got Omashar. We've got a prayer for peace. I forgot to mention in the Global Peace Tribe announcements, next week's show. And next week, this show has been all about new life, a new day, a new season. But next week, we're going to be talking about the flip side of it, which is transforming and healing our relationship to death and dying. Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. And we've got a really eclectic group of people. Our beloved Danyan Brinkley is going to be back with us, and everybody loves Danyan. We've got a woman named Suzanne Kelly, who is the leading proponent of green burials in the world. She's a best-selling author. We've got Jasmine Hanna coming from Egypt, who's going to share with us all about ancient Egyptian rites. We've got an Indian doctor coming to us from the Himalayas who helps people to spiritually prepare for death. Music, we've got my co-host on Saturday night. It's going to be the wonderful Kristen Hoffman. And we also have Lisa Gard from The Aware Show. And Celestine Starr is going to be with us. We have a death doula who's going to be with us. So it's going to be a really interesting weekend to just help us drop in. Oh, and I can't forget Gary Malkin. Gary Malkin won a Grammy Award for his CD called Graceful Passages, which is music to listen to as we pass or work with people that are passing. He won a Grammy for it. So it's going to be a very, very powerful and important show. Please join us next weekend for that. All right. So now, as I begin our after show, I want us to just take all the beautiful energy, and I love that many of our people are still with us. Sean Ree is still with us, and Jamishka is still with us, and the wild Mystic Abbot Jerry is still with us. There he is. I love all the people that are still with us, and we're going to drop into some prayers for peace. There are Dr. and Mrs. Future and all of their friends having a dinner and a meal. So it's lovely to have us. But we're going to start as we always do now, it's really become kind of the way we start our after show. We like to start with Fanny and Vigari. They're also known as the Mystiques, and they really are two sides of a coin. On one side, they're an original, colorful, totally improvised explosion of creative expression, and they engage and entertain children of all ages. And on the other side, there's this background of Afro-Caribbean, Latin, and R&B styles, and that's what they play at festivals all over the world. So they are the Mystiques. They are Fanny and Vigari, and they have become our after show regulars. So we love you guys. Thank you for being with us. And what are you going to start us off with tonight?
Oh, tonight we're going to play our song, Beautiful, Beautiful Butterfly. It's springtime. It's time to set our soul free, set ourselves free to be out in the sunlight. Oh, goodness gracious. A little sunlight is so magnificent. Today we did some prayers outside, and as we did the prayers, the two owls flew right in front of us. I thought it was such a beautiful omen because we are in the middle of the city here. So and we have a green belt, so we saw the two owls, and for us it's very mystical to see these owls. So we are blessed to be here. And this song is called Beautiful, Beautiful Butterfly. I hope you like it. And you can close your eyes and pretend that you can fly. Ready? So beautiful, so, so light, so free, my beautiful. Oh, so light, so magic. You are so so beautiful, so beautiful, the gentleness and the sweetness of this time. The sky is yours to be light, to be free. Just take yourself ever so lightly. So beautiful, so light. So beautiful, so light. Oh, that was so awesome to see you dance. What a blissful experience. And the hands, and it was like my heart was totally frivolous and voluptuous and magicalous. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. No, I tell you, that was such a beautiful segment of the way that Sean Rhee and Jamishka participated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit just that song with the gallery view where you see Sean Rhee and them doing that. And I'm going to put that on our website right in the dynamic segments at the very top, because that was such the music and the movement and the dance and the sensuality. Oh my Lord. That was really special. That was really, really. And the hands out of no, yeah, those hands. It all started with James's hands, changed everything. Oh, God bless you. Well, stick around. We're going to have one more song from Fanny and Vigari. Oh, I need to do the promotions. I got lost. Um, let's always support our musical artists, and we love Fanny and Vigari, also known as the Mystiques, and you can find them now on Bandcamp. So go to the Mystiques 11-11 on Bandcamp, the Mystiques 11-11, and please buy their albums. I did that last week, and this is a great way for us to support our musical artists. So let's definitely do that.
Thank you so much.
Love you guys. Love you guys so much. And they're gonna close out our show, so they will be back. All right. Well, boy, we're in this like beautiful space, and talking about the butterfly. And those of you that are regulars, you've heard me say this before many times. But we are the ones we've been waiting for. And this is the time we've been preparing for. Whether you're young or older, this is it. Humanity is at the precipice of this incredible awakening world. And we all have a role to play. And I really do believe that each and every one of us, I love the analogy, the caterpillar is dying, the old is dying, and death is messy, and death is uncomfortable, and death is, like confusing. Imagine as the caterpillar's dying, what's going on inside that caterpillar, but inside, as it's dying, there's all these imaginal cells, and they find each other, and they come together, and they create the butterfly, which the caterpillar could never imagine. And probably we can't fully imagine the incredible new world that we are all creating by coming together and playing our part. Embracing sensuality, embracing joy, embracing death, being a nurse, being an educator, being a teacher, being a musician, being an artist, whatever it is that divinity is coming through us. It's like, oh, there's an imaginal cell that's going to be part of the wing of the butterfly, and there's an imaginal cell that's going to be part of the antenna. We all have a role to play as we come together to create this new world. And because death and suffering is part of this world at this time, we do want to take a moment now to drop into prayer and to put into prayer into our hearts those people that we really know that might be struggling, and certainly our world. And I am happy to introduce a new friend. This is Daniela, and she's coming to us from a fishing village, a little tiny fishing village in Canada. So her internet is going to be happy, but welcome. It's lovely to have you with us. And of course, this is your first time on our show, so we're really happy. And I'm just going to tell people a little bit about you for a minute. Daniela is, she's been building family relations with water, rock, and tree elders around the world for about the past 14 years. And during this process, she discovered that she has a gift for interbeing communication. And so her mission, her imaginal cell mission, is as a way shower for 21st century human and nature relations. It's inspired her to record the music, stories, and teachings that she has received from these nature elders. So thank you for being a bridge between us and Mother Nature, a bridge between that which is perfect, which is nature, and that which is still struggling to find its perfection, which is humanity. Thank you for being a bridge, and thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much, Scott. Oh, there's so many beautiful threads that people have offered and woven into this tapestry that we are creating as a species. And when you spoke about, the caterpillar, when it turns to mush, right? And when it turns to liquid, it in that state cannot imagine who it's going to be in the next phase. Well, I confess that I've been carrying a reality inside of myself for a very, very long time. And, as I was feeling into what to follow, that beautiful butterfly journey we were taken on, I was reminded that our imagination is a form of prayer. It really is a form of divine prayer. And that our being, our multidimensional, incredibly designed being, doesn't know the difference when we imagine something than when we're actually doing it. So the prayer that I hold inside of myself, and I'm going to invite each of you who are watching or listening to just close your eyes and just withdraw your attention from the screen for a moment, to bring it back into your beautiful sacred body temple that's been awakened by the words of Chandra. And to inhale and to exhale with that delicious ecstasy, this intimate partnership that we co-create every breath with our sacred air. And I'd like you to just be in your own heart, where we've lived for the past 2 hours, just breathing and feeling the expansiveness of this beautiful area of our being, like the wings of the butterfly, that with each breath and each joy and each imagined reality gets bigger and bigger. So imagine living on a planet where 7.7 billion human beings, and every single being is heart bonded with an elder tree. Imagine that each human being is heart bonded for life with a body of water, a sacred river or a lake, or maybe a tiny stream that flows across a property. Imagine that each human being is bonded heart to heart with a member of the Rock Nation. Perhaps it's a hill behind your parents' homes. Perhaps it's a boulder left over from the glacier times. And perhaps it's a mountain that has lived beyond memory in your culture and in your land. The dream, the prayer that I hold for humanity is full co-creative partnership with your own nature elders. One of these sacred beings, the standing ones, the mountain ones, the water ones. These relatives have been here long before we have, and they are willing and able to communicate directly with each and every one of us. I have it on good authority from my nature elders that this year in 2022, the veil that has been in the way between humans and nature is dissolving. And so the peace that we seek, the new world that we are birthing without knowing and still birthing with every breath and every time we step forward with our gifts, this world we will co-create with our nature elders. Each of us partnered one by one. So I'd like you to imagine now in your heart allow one of your special nature friends to arrive in your own heart. Just open. Someone will come. And when they do, offer your silent greeting or your acknowledgement to them from inside. Feel the connection between your heart bond and theirs. Feel the love that they feel for you, always, in all ways. Know and trust that what you hear and feel and see from these relatives is a truth that is pure, is a guidance that will be reflecting the highest potential that you are, and will be offered with a love and a kindness that you can count on. And as you feel and hear their love, know that this partnership is eternal. Even if your bond is with a childhood tree, once the bond is made, it can always be reactivated. And peace, and peace will reign across the land. Imagine the wisdom of nature. Imagine the wisdom from your nature elders flowing into you, guiding you, helping you align with the life force that feeds all of life on our planet. And then from your mouths, from your hands, from your thoughts, that wisdom flows into the human community, which now creates life in harmony with what serves the life and the thrival of all beings. The wisdom that starts to grow up into our way of being on the land generates our gratitude and our love and our joy, and we feed those back to our relatives. And so in nature, in Mother Earth, there is a place for everyone. And when there is conflict, we listen. And when there is sorrow, we feel. And together, humans and nature grow together, evolve together in love.
Thank you. I just want to invite everybody, let's just stay in this beautiful state for another minute or two. And bringing into our circle anyone in your world that you want to send special love, special healing to. You can just do it through thought, or if you want to put it into a chat box. Now we take this inspiration from Daniela and really commit during this new season, whether we're in spring or moving into autumn, whether we're in the northern or southern hemisphere. Let's embrace a greater connection to nature. Let's spend more time, even if it's just going into our own backyard or our own local park. Let's spend more time in nature and listening to the wisdom of nature and listening to our own higher self, our own God self. And may we all be clear channels for spirit to flow through. Just as we've seen demonstrated tonight through Daniela, through our musical artists, even through the improvised dance that we just saw. Allow spirit through us in joyfulness and presence. Thank you so much, Daniela. And your internet behaved. We're very grateful for that.
May I leave us with one question?
Yes, please.
If you could only have one nature elder out of all the ones you love, but only have one nature elder to partner with you for peace and unity for 2022, who would it be? Your partner in peace and unity.
Give us some examples of nature elders, just so people have kind of a sense of what you mean. What are some examples?
A favorite tree. Everybody has one. You go on a walk, or it's a tree was in your parents' backyard. Or if you're feeling in need of solace, you'll always find yourself sitting at the river. So these connections, we don't need to make them. We already have them. People could put the name of their tree in the chat. They could put the name of the river in their chat. And each month I hold things called the listening field, in which we open a field and you invite your nature elder. And with my nature elders, I'm able to open a field in which these relatives come and you can talk to them directly.
Beautiful. Well, I am going to let people know how they can discover more of you, since you're a brand new friend. So let's start by going to YouTube. You've got a powerful Om Shanti Om prayer for peace here. Tell us a little bit about this beautiful 5-minute video.
Yes, well, I will tell you that this is a little extraction from a longer journey in which one of the songs is "We Are the Ones We've Been Waiting For," which you just dovetailed. So my CD is called Thank You Water, and all the music on there comes from ceremonial dialogues with these relatives. But I will say that on the day that war broke out in Ukraine, my musical partner, Daniela Marie, and I were scheduled to go into a local clear cut. And I go into these wounded places or these burdened places, and I sit with them and I listen and I sing to them and remember and can see how they looked when they were standing. So when we came into the clear cut, it was obvious to us the relation between the violence that we perpetrate against our nature relatives and the violence we perpetrate against each other. And so before we did anything else, we made an offering to the land, and then we opened up our mics and we prayed and sang. So the Om Shanti, it's an improvisation, as everything that there is on that track. And It's just a lovely little piece in which we remember that the synergy of the frequency of peace and harmony can be offered in these places where the burden has happened.
Beautiful. I'm going to read some of the, you'll enjoy some of the people that have listed their places. Mary Noonan, Honolulu Bay. I know that place very well. Crystal Ames, her healing meditation walnut tree that's named Anne. Eleanor Joy writes Enos Lake Trails in Nanu's Bay. That's in Vancouver Island. Eleanor Joy chose an entire mountain, by the way. That's pretty cool. Lilith Rogers, the redwood tree near me at my new home, Burbank Heights in Sebastopol. Josiane, our dear friend who's been on the show many times, writes, the traveler's tree planted for my third son's birth since I've been traveling the world. Nancy went for the whole ocean. There you have it. Robin, a redwood tree. So beautiful, beautiful examples. Shankari, the guy. Jamishka wrote, my daughter just gave me a braided piece of sweetgrass right now. Perfect for this moment. Oh, actually, I'm going to put her on camera. There it is. Look at that.
Oh, it's kindness. Such kindness Sweetgrass carries. Beautiful.
Oh my
Beautiful.
gosh. Maggie writes cedar tree. Karen Eisenberg writes a 125-year-old white oak tree. So you asked a wonderful question that really stimulated some beautiful things. Thank you. One more
You're
thing.
welcome. You're welcome.
Daniela is on Bandcamp. So if you go to her name.bandcamp.com, and the best way to imagine it is imagine combining the word Daniel with the word Leah. That's like her first name, and the last name is Castell, Castell. I've also put it into the chat box. So there you have it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And people are welcome to join us for Sounds of Peace. We're doing these sounding down into the bedrock and the groundwaters under Ukraine and Russia every morning, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So they can find me on Facebook, D. Castell Eco Relations or Daniela Castell, and you're very welcome to join us. We live stream it on Facebook as well. Yes. Eco Relations, the 21st century family.
Beautiful. We'll have to do a whole show on eco-sensuality, actually. I have some friends that teach that, so we'll do a whole eco-sensuality show and invite you. And you're, of course, going to be with us on our Earth Day show. So we will see her again when we celebrate Earth Day, which is like April 22nd through 24th will be that Awakening Weekend. Awakening World Weekend. I'm getting tired. Thank you, Daniela. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Right. Well, Omar Shah has been with us from the very beginning tonight. He's back from Peru. And Omar Shah, thank you for being with us. And what musical offering do you have for us tonight?
Well, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good. What a blessing to be on the show tonight, not as a musical participant, just as a being amongst all these beings. And Daniela, far out. Thank you so much, and every other musician and presenter tonight. I just feel so alive and so joyful that I'm full anyway without presenting anything. And when you initially, I thought water for me is my element, and then this plane tree, Plane, from Stratford-upon-Avon, my hometown in England. It's about 450 years old. Flashed into my consciousness, and I visited every single year that I go back there. It's massive. It's as old as Shakespeare, and you can't get your arms around it. But thank you for enlivening my spirit with the elements, air, fire, water, ether, etc. Thank you. Yeah. And so I don't choose songs. Songs choose me. And this song came along tonight, and I see why, because it's a perfect flow from you, and it's called "The Way Things Are." And all my songs are either divine consciousness speaking to me or me speaking to divine consciousness. And so this one is divine consciousness speaking to us. So without further ado, here we go. What do you see when you're alone? What do you feel when you are by yourself? How could it be that you are here? Isn't it strange the way things are? Look at the river flowing by, and look at the colors of the butterfly. How do you feel about your life? Isn't it strange the way things are? Like a dolphin in the ocean, I can hear you calling me. Come on in, you say, the water's fine. I have come to set you free. You have never been alone, my friend. I was just a thought away. And there's a deeper love that's holding you, and it's here to lead the way. La da dum da. Now that you see you're not alone, and there is no such thing as by yourself, and there is a hand that's lifting you into the presence of yourself. And life is a tale that never ends, and there is a purpose to each heart that beats, and you are the river flowing by. You are the colors of the butterfly. Like a dolphin in the ocean, I can hear you calling me. Come on in, you say, the water's fine. I have come to set you free. You have never been alone, my friend. I was just a thought away. And there's a deeper love that's holding you, and it's here to lead the way. La da da da. Like a dolphin in the ocean, I can hear you calling me. Come on in, you say, the water's fine. I have come to set you free. You have never
I'm going to go to a gallery view so you can see all the people who are like just cheering on, and so beautiful. Such a powerful, powerful song, Omar Shar. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're so welcome. It's such a delight and a pleasure, and I know that I share this feeling with all of us. I may be one little individual life form, but I feel it through the Mystiques and Jamishka, my new friends, and the Wild Abbot, and all of us. Holy smoke! Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic group of people, isn't it?
Are we? We're just awesome.
Oh, Mashar, share with us one little magical moment from Peru. I mean, you were just in Peru. Tell us.
The beauty of you can hear me okay? I just switched systems. The beauty of Peru for me is the simplicity of the people. I was about an hour and a half from Machu Picchu. I have some friends that have a property out there called the Heart of An. An being the heart of divine consciousness. It's phenomenal. But all of the people in the village around live up in mud huts in the hills with alpacas and sheep and goats, etc. And there's not one person that I walked past that didn't look at me and say "Buenas tardes, buenos dias" and correct me for saying, things in my Spanglish. But there's just, they're not connected to the world, and we are with all of our technology, right? And I'm generalizing, of course. And they're so much a part of the land that it was food for my soul to see that. And everything was in bloom, such color. We were at about 13,000 feet most of the time. We went up to about 4,000+ meters, which is quite high. But what happens as we get higher and higher into the fields of consciousness, let's say, there's less human mental effluvia. And so the higher we went, the clearer I could feel and the clearer I could speak, and the more I felt a part of all that is. And so I guess that's a snippet for now. Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for that reminder about the power of, the power of nature and simplicity.
It is. And they didn't have things. They had vegetables and animals and family. And that was it. And the rivers. And the streams. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, the Global Peace Tribe is grateful that we have you. And you can get more of Mashar by going, I'm going to go to a couple spots here. He's on Instagram, and it's omashar.music. And I love that you've got the Awakening World right there. Thank you so much. And he also is on YouTube. And so if you go to Omashar Music on YouTube, definitely you want to subscribe. Let me flip over there and show people that. And you've got a lot on YouTube, actually. Kingdom of Gold, I love that one. Love that one.
Yeah, this is what I was doing during the pandemic, is learning how to create videos. So of all my favorite songs.
Yeah, so these are beautiful videos of his favorite songs. Again, it's Omashar Music on YouTube. I just put the link
Thank you so
in the
much.
chat box. Absolutely. And thank you, Omashar, for being with us. Thank you so much. We are winding down, but it's been just another fantastic Saturday night. And again, I want to just invite everybody to join us tomorrow morning for my Sacred Sunday show. We are going to close out with Fanny and Vigari doing one last song. But please do join us for this Sacred Sunday show tomorrow. And also a reminder that we're going to kind of wrap up this weekend with a very special event that I'm doing with Eden Amadora. And you've seen Eden on my shows before. She's quite the priestess. And we really have something special planned for people tomorrow. So do join us. You can either register directly for it, or if you register for our new season, the April 1st through June 30th season of Awakening World, if you register for that, tonight we'll give you a special ticket for tomorrow. So please join us tomorrow morning for the Sacred Sunday show, and then tomorrow afternoon for our spring renewal special event. It's going to be really special. Also, thank you to everybody for writing in the chat box. There's a lot of wonderful messages there. I noticed that people get much more active in the after show. The after show is when all of our regulars start like really chatting things up. Plus, Daniela's wonderful question really got people going. So thank you for that. And thank you, Jamishka, for still being with us. That's pretty cool. And I'm now going to turn it back over to Fanny and Vigari to close us out with some beautiful music.
Here we are. Can
There
you
you
hear
are.
me?
I can.
All right, all right. This song is called Mystical Dance. Almost like a butterfly dance, but I just want to honor the beautiful women that danced for us while we play the music. It's just such an honor and inspiration. It's divine to see the child dance when you play, because they are free spirits and they are flowing in their godliness, and so are people. When we dance, we become godly. So I just want to thank you, these beautiful women that inspired this song. And tonight it's called Mystical Dance.
Now, I do appreciate that those two women were beautiful, but let's not forget James's hands. Okay, it's easy to notice the beautiful women, but it was James's hands that got it all started. So just want to make sure that he
kiss
gets a
of
little
love.
acknowledgement
This
there.
song is dedicated to James's hands. Among other things.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Vigari. All right.
When she dances, the space is filled with golden light, like a sweet caress of the sunrise. As her body moves, as her body grooves. She dances, it's a dance of love. The pure flow takes my breath away as she brings me to another space far Oh, Jaitara. Oh, Miraya, when you danced for me, it was sublime. Oh, Ja, sweet Ja, my love. Oh, Ramona, Lalita. Oh, Rama, when you dance. Feel the fire burning in me, longing to share this love so free, longing to play this song for you, my love.
of your heart brings me a higher love, brings me a higher love, brings me a higher love. Oh my love, oh my love, are you a lay, oh my lay? When she dances, the space is filled with golden light, like a sweet, sweet caress of the sunlight. A sweet caress of your love. Are you an Are you a lay? 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 I'm a yellow. Are you a lay? When you dance, are you a lay? My heart sings. Hola, hola.
Beautiful. And people were asking Jay Mayer, and there he is. He's
Yes, Jay.
gained quite a bit of facial hair since we saw him. Welcome, Jay. Thank you for blessing us. People were asking about you tonight. So it's good to see you. Ah, well. one more. That was my reminder of myself of something I still have to do tonight. A reminder, everybody, that we do want to support the Mystiques, Fanny and Vigari, and the best way to do that is to go to Bandcamp, and that's where you'll find them by going to the Mystiques 1111 on Bandcamp and buy their albums, Awaken 1111 and Star Child. And thank you for the beautiful. You play so many instruments, Fanny. It's amazing how many instruments you play.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And that beautiful harp and your beautiful man, Vigari. Thank you both for all that you bring to our after shows. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure. We're honored to be on this.
It's just so magical, incredible.
Wasn't tonight something? Tonight was just one of the best shows we've ever had. It was an amazing show, just amazing.
Spring is in the
I go to gallery view so we can see the people that are still with us. There we all are. So thank you again, Jamishka. Welcome to the wonderful world of the awakening world. We're going to want you to come back right away. And thank you also, Daniela. There's Dr. Future. You saw the video that he and his partner created, Mrs. Future. There's Jay, who's done so much to support the Global Peace Tribe, and we love very much. And we'll all do light touch. Let's all remember to do light touch, which Jay has turned us all on to. And I hope to see all of you tomorrow morning and again tomorrow afternoon. Thank you and have a beautiful, beautiful evening.